Good afternoon, Buff Nation. Good afternoon, BWB, my bandwagon Buffs. What's going on? Welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are watching TLP Live, free for all Fridays. I'm your host, Harry Billion, or Harry B if you just want to keep it short. Harry B. Welcome to the show, guys. I appreciate you joining me today. Welcome to another game week. Tomorrow, Colorado is going to play Colorado State. This rivalry game is known as the Rocky Mountain Showdown. This will be our second Rocky Mountain Showdown for a lot of us. The Colorado fan base has different parts of it. Colorado, it's in a new era. There are several eras of Colorado football. On TLP Sports Club, I have done my best to try to capture Colorado's history for you. If you go on my channel, I believe the very first video that you get on this channel is a historical video of Colorado. So if you go to the channel, you can watch that video. But the Colorado fan base is a very unique fan base in the sense that Colorado has seen success and Colorado has seen failure. I think Colorado has gone through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything else in between. I don't see Colorado as a football state or a football school. However, Colorado does have a pretty rich history of football and winning football. Colorado has several, well, I don't know if it's several, but Colorado has won the national championship. So Colorado fans are aware of football, how it works, who's good, who's not. So before Coach Prime, there were three other coaches. You had Carr Dorrell. From Carr Dorrell, well, actually, no, you had you had Mel Tucker, you had Carr Dorrell, and then there was an interim coach because Carr Dorrell was fired mid-season. I believe it was after 5 games. I've captured all of that, and it's also on my YouTube channel, TLP Sports Club, on YouTube. And the only reason why I'm saying it on YouTube is because if you're not watching this on YouTube, you're probably watching this on Twitter or you're watching this somewhere else. But if you go to my YouTube channel, I have captured all of that. So now we come to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. How did Deion Sanders get here to Colorado? And why did Deion Sanders get here to Colorado? The reason why Deion Sanders is at Colorado is because Colorado has had a losing culture prior to Deion Sanders. You just take the last 10 years prior to Deion Sanders, and Colorado cannot show you the identity of Colorado football. Because Colorado, every season, they have lost. So here we are with Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, the name he likes to be called is Coach Prime, right? Coach Prime is here trying to change that losing culture and make it a winning one. So far, in his first year, he's gone 4-8, won 4 games in 2023, lost 8. I believe it was 6 straight that he lost. And we are in Coach Prime's second year. Coach Prime is called a lot of things. But what Coach Prime is not being called, which is necessary for this part of college football where he's at, he needs to be called a program developer. Coach Prime has to be a program developer. So what are the things that Coach Prime is being called? A motivator, an entertainer, Fill in the blanks. If you're watching and you're in the chat, fill in the blanks. Whatever Coach Prime is being called. But the one biggest thing that Coach Prime is not being called by his peers, by the way, by his peers. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying, what is he being called? Because the reason why I have to talk in this way is because people's ears hear different things. When they're hearing things, they're hearing it differently. So when I'm saying Coach Prime is not being called this and that, they're hearing me say Coach Prime is not. Some people, not all of you. So unfortunately, I have to talk in that way. So let me fix my eyebrows. Excuse me. Eyebrows looking all jacked up. Hold up. All right. So it is essential that Coach Prime is a program developer. Now, we are in year 2. The first year Coach Prime got to Colorado, he told the players that were at Colorado that he was bringing his own players, and those players were Louis. So to interpret that, that means that because Louis Vuitton, for a lot of you who are not familiar with luxury brands, Louis Vuitton is a high luxury brand. All right. So when Coach Prime says, I'm bringing my luggage and it's Louis, meaning he's bringing players, and those players are luxury players, or at the highest and the top quality of players. And if you don't consider yourself a quality player or at the top of your game, then you should consider jumping into what's new, what's the new thing that college football has, which is called the transfer portal. This is called college football's free agency. You go into the transfer portal and find a new home. If you do not consider yourself luxury brand, if your brand of football that you've been playing up to the point where Coach Prime came into that program, if your brand of football or the quality of football that you play is not considered luxury brand, meaning the top quality, not cheap stuff, all right? A lot of us have to shop to the dollar store nowadays for groceries because we can't afford the real stuff. We can't afford the good stuff in the shop in the grocery stores. We got to go buy our eggs, our milks, and our stuff. We got to go find stuff at the dollar stores. So not the dollar store brand, not the cheap stuff. Luxury athletes. I'm bringing my luggage, and it's Louis. So if you don't consider yourself to be luxury quality, or I don't see you as luxury quality, I need you to jump into that transfer portal and go find another home, because what I am doing here, or what I am about to do, is going to be top notch. It's going to be luxury, and I cannot afford to have dollar store brand stuff in the mix of my luxury. Somebody tell me if I'm misinterpreting that. Put it in the chat if you think I'm misinterpreting that. So here we are. We now have this Louis luggage. We have this luxury brand, and the expectation is that the brand will hold up in most conditions. Obviously, Louis luxury brands are not the type of brand, or are not indestructible brand. Okay, let's just get it straight. Because it's luxury doesn't mean that it's indestructible. So I'll put that over. Let me just set that over there, right here. But when you have luxury, you don't expect the luxury brand to rip in basic conditions. You do not expect the luxury brand to go bad in just minor wear, like anything else. Like if you bought a pocketbook at the dollar store or at Goodwill or somewhere that, or at a cheap store. When you carry your Louis luggage or your luxury brand luggage, that luxury brand shall last a little longer than the cheap stuff. The handles may break off easily on the cheap stuff. The seams may come apart a little easier on the cheap stuff. I hope y'all understand where I'm going with this. I'm a Baptist preacher this morning, okay? You know how you do in church, right? The preacher sets you up, gives you examples, and then lands the plane and tell you, bada boom, bada bang, this is what Jesus was trying to tell you. So follow me. So the luxury brand is not a brand that is supposed to easily tear because it's luxury. It's made differently. Oftentimes it's made by hand. It's made with materials that are much better. Luxury brand is made with the finest materials that you can find in the marketplace. Luxury, Louis luggage. I don't know what the highest brand of luggage is. I don't know if it's Louis, but apparently Coach Prime, Coach Prime is a fashionable guy, so he understands that Louis is high top. It's one of the top brands. I don't know what the top brand is. Put it in the chat if you know what the top brand is. Please help me out in the chat. DC, I'll be with you in a second. So, when we got this Louis luggage now, the expectations for this Louis luggage are high. The Louis luggage is not supposed to be undisciplined because the equivalent of this undisciplined will be breaking at the seams, right? The handles coming off just a little easier, right? That would be the equivalent of what I'm talking about. The equivalent of a luggage that tears apart easily will be the fact that we have undisciplined actions. We have people doing stuff out of character. People missing blocks. Not knowing their assignment. Not going to class. Yada, yada, yada. Louis luggage is supposed to hold up in tough conditions. More so, it's not indestructible. Don't get me wrong, right? But more so than the cheap brand. So we are here with Coach Prime. And at this point in time, if you were to take a step, I don't know if we are still on that Louis luggage trajectory. Because here we are in year number 2. Year number 2, right? We lost our last 6 games. We came back in 2024, won the first game in DSU. The second game we lost. So that's 7 games that we have lost. All right, in year number 2. We're building a program, and Coach Prime is not being called a program builder. Many folks are saying he's a mercenary guy. He's a leader of mercenaries, and he's trying to just get his players, which are 3, Travis, Shedeur, and Shiloh, to the NFL. And some are predicting that he will be gone after this year because that is his goal, to help his kids. Do I prescribe to that? I don't. Nah, I don't. I believe Coach Prime, actually. I believe that what he believes and what he thinks and how he thinks, I believe that that's a high quality way of thinking. So the Louis luggage, the thinking of the Louis luggage, I don't think that's a bad way of thinking. I think the communication and the implications and how it came across, it has a lot to do with perception. So let's talk about perception for 1 second before we start this show. Oh, the show has already started. The perception out there is that Coach Prime is not really coaching. Coach Prime is not a real coach. I'm telling you the perception out there, what it is. Because a lot of y'all hear things, and your ears, the way that it hears it, you're not really paying attention to what the person is saying. You're just waiting for an opportunity for you to respond. That's not how communication works. I'm telling you, the perception of Coach Prime out there is, I'm not saying how I perceive Coach Prime. The perception out there is that Coach Prime is not a real coach. Coach Prime is only here for his kids. He plays daddy ball, and his team, they're distracted. That is the perception. So what is the perception that you guys have out there? Put it in the chat for me. Let's talk perception. And for that, let me bring my guy DC on so that we can talk about this. And then we got some football things to discuss. DC Carson Music. What up, man?
Nothing much, man. How you living?
I'm good, man. I'm happy. I got a smile on my face. My family's okay. My wife got back home from Greece safely. So yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Still fighting the cough, but we're gonna be all right, brother. We're gonna be good.
Good. DC, talk with me for a little moment. And before we get into this, join TLP Sports. Join TLP Live at gmail.com is the email, guys. The email is right here, right above your head, right here on the screen. Join TLP Live at gmail.com is the email. You email me, I send you a link, and then you come on and we talk about what we are talking. All right, so DC, let's talk perception. The perception about Coach Prime is out there, okay? This is not our saying. This is not how we or how DC would tell you in a second about how he perceived Coach Prime. But the perception out there is that Coach Prime is not a real coach. Coach Prime is distracted. He got too much going on. And Coach Prime is not a program builder. How do you perceive Coach Prime? What is your perception of Coach Prime?
I believe that Coach Prime is a coach. Anybody that says that is not paying attention. He absolutely is a functional coach. The other part of it is he a program builder? No, not at this time. He is somebody that can come in, but for JSU, he could have been, and he was in the process of it. But right now, you don't. And y'all have heard me say this: it's that Coach Prime's brand has eclipsed the university's brand. And whenever you have that, that is not a program builder. I get it. That's who he is. But both have to be on same footing. The other thing is, I would have to say is, what was the other thing? Would you say that, what was the other question you asked in there?
The other perception. Coach Prime is not a real coach. Coach Prime is not a program builder. And Coach Prime is distracted. He's
okay.
Not,
right now, it's not building the program, and two, he is extremely extracted. Folks, let me just say this to you. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all an example of me going to flight school. My morning started off at 4:00 in the morning, and they generally ended at like 10, 11 at night. And flying can be intense on your body, but you also have to stay physically fit. There's a lot of studying. I had no time for anybody. Basically, I was away from my family. Here's the point. Everybody that I've ever seen, great generals, all that kind of stuff, they were committed. Now, you can be a jack of all trades, but you will be a master of none. You have to have Flint-like focus on this. College, especially elite college football. If you look at the Sabans who didn't even read emails, you can go back and look at all of the great coaches, the Kirby Smith, all of that. They ate, slept, and breathed football. There was no reality show going on the other side other than people filming it. So I get it. But folks, regardless of how we feel, we can love the man and we can love the player and we can love the things that he did at JSU. But who you were and who you are could be two different things. I think he can do it, but he has way too many distractions. And being somebody that has led young men at that age, that young age from 18 on up, it's very hard to keep them focused on the things, the main things. So when you add in all those other things, I get it. Yeah, they're great to look at, but understand that still doesn't mean they're distractions. That's the thing. If you're focused and want to be great, and Harry, how many hours do you put in to what you do? You put in some hours, don't you, bro? It's almost 100 hours a week, right?
It's a full-time job.
And then some, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day is if you start getting into all these other things, you're going to lose. I saw this with a lot of people in their careers. I say you get to a point where you have to make a choice whether either you're going to lose how much of yourself, or you're going to lose your family, or you're going to lose something else, but you can't have it all. And that's the thing I've been studying, is that because you don't have enough time, people aren't made that way. And again, we love Prime, but sometimes these things that we see, there are distractions. They're great for us to see, but they keep you from focusing on the thing.
he's not the one editing the videos. He's not the one shooting the videos. If we're talking about the distractions, the commercials are shot months and months, like 6 months in advance, and then he walks off. It's like an actor. By the time you see the movie come out, that actor has already done maybe another movie, or they've been away for months. So a lot of the stuff that we see as distraction, or a lot of the things that we see, these are things in media related stuff, and these are things that are pre-recorded. So that's why we're talking about perception. Is the perception that he's doing it and not necessarily focus on football, or is he doing it in the off season and is now airing, and you're seeing it and you're thinking? And I'll give you another example. Trump likes to say that Biden is not working, he's on vacation, because Biden posts a photo of him on the beach. Now, oftentimes when people post photos on social media, that thing could have already happened maybe 6 months or during the summer, and now they're just posting it, or maybe it happened a year ago. So the perception is that, oh, that's all you're doing, and you're not necessarily focused on the things that you should be focused on. And that's why I want to talk about perception. So hold that thought. Let me bring on Ron Tate. I'm going to give you a chance to answer that question, DC, and then Ron Tate. Welcome to the show, Ron Tate. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, Harry, I'm glad to be here. Good afternoon, DC. How are you?
I'm doing fine, brother. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling good. I'm smiling because I have an opportunity to come on and correct. Now,
hey, hold on. Don't go yet. I want DC to answer the perception question first before I jump you in. Go ahead, DC.
Listen, folks. We can argue and not like what I'm saying all day, but at the end of the day, there's something. You ever heard of PAT? That's short for pattern. And when pattern shows up and he keeps showing up in the same way, then you can not like what I'm saying. But until pattern comes in on crutches, which means the pattern is broken, you have to look at what's in front of your face. So I get it. I know when I say these things, a lot of people will go, you know what? That don't make no sense, X, Y, Z. I'm just telling you what I've seen. Now, I can sit here and say you can disagree with me, but I am telling you, you don't have to trust me, but I'm just telling you for what I've seen. When you are into doing great things at that level, all those little things, even Nick Saban calls them, they're rat poison. They take away from the focus. So we can respectfully disagree, but I do believe there's a perception. But unfortunately, the perception is playing out on the field, and we got to keep that in balance. It doesn't matter how much we like him. I love the guy, but the pattern is 4-8, and now we're going into this year, and you just finished a game where you're manhandled, completely manhandled from the start to the end. And then we got to sit back and go, okay, well, we can do stuff. This is year 2. I'll yield.
All right. Ron Tate.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about perception.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Perception is not necessarily facts or truth or anything like that. Perception has to do with what somebody hears and thinks and how they interpret that information. So that's what we're talking about, perception. So there are 3 perceptions going on that we're just talking about right now. Coach Prime being too distracted. Coach Prime is not a real coach, and Coach Prime is not a program builder. So how are people perceiving to you? What is the perception? You can answer DC, or you can.
Hold on one second. Let me say this real quick. Before you go, let me say this real quick. I wanted to say this. I forgot to add this. I'm sorry. Before you go, I just wanted to say this. But with all that said, I do have to add that in as far as the leadership, and then let me move back. I don't think he has solid subordinate leaders. Continue.
All right, Ron, go ahead.
Okay, let me say this in the words of a very wise man, DC Carson.
Mm-hmm.
It's only game 2. It's only game 2 of this year. Hold your horses a little bit. Now, the idea of perception. How can I make an argument or base my idea of my perception of what Coach Prime is doing based on what factual information I have? Number one, I look at his history and what he had to endure. I look at my own stereotype of him. I thought he was drugs. I thought he was a drinker. I thought he was a partier. And come to find out, after his career, he did none of that. So my perception of him, because of the way he was in front of the media, was 100% incorrect. Just like most of what DC Carson said. It's 100% incorrect. Let's base it on the facts of what he has done in his history. Let's base it on the facts, what he was doing at Jackson State or the high school level. Let's base it on the fact of what he has been doing at CU since he's been there. He has been committed. He has been committed 100% to that program.
I want you to keep in mind the definition of perception.
Yes, yeah, I'm basing the factual information that I examine that gives me my perception.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm building the factual information on and in order to give you, okay, this is how I come to my perception. I look at and I listen to what he has said. I'm comfortable now. I'm leaving. I brought my whole family here to see you, to Boulder. You know, I listened to those things, and I don't think he would uproot his entire family. I don't think he would change his lifestyle, his personal lifestyle, to walk according to his faith there at Boulder if he was thinking about leaving. Now, what does it take to build a dynasty? What does it take to build a program? First thing you have to do is
focus.
change the mindsets of the individuals that are there, and that takes time. It's not going to be 1 year or 2 year. So
who's responsible for the communication of that? Let's try to keep this short. Who's responsible for the communication of that?
Well, he is.
And do you believe that he has done that effectively? Do you believe that he has communicated his intentions effectively, not just to the school, but to the fan base as well? Because he has to talk to two different people. He has to talk to the fan base, and he has to talk to the school.
I think he has. I think he has by saying that I'm getting comfortable. I moved my entire family here, and Deion Sanders, who he is, prime time, who he is. He wanted to go to a school like FSU. Now he wants to build a legacy. He has an example of someone that builds a legacy when he looks and talks to Coach Saban. And he wants to build a legacy because he wants to be dominant in what he does. And that takes time sometimes.
All right.
I think that's what he's doing.
Okay. All right. So let me bring on Obi. Obi, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. How you doing today?
I'm blessed and highly favored, man. How are you?
I'm good. All right. So we're talking perception. We're not going to spend too much time on this because I know this is murky waters and it can go far, right? I'm not trying to spend too much time on this, but we're talking perception. And let me set this up for you, and then you can answer. Perception has a lot to do with how people see things that are going on, right? There are people out there that think, right, in our environment, even though we are, I would say, a developed country where there's education, free education, X, Y, and Z. But in a developed country where there's free education and people are required to go to school at least up until high school, there are still people out there that think that Joe Biden is on vacation and he's not at the White House. And I'm saying that it sounds funny, but this is serious stuff. There are people out there because one of the presidential campaign person has communicated to them that Biden doesn't work. He's on vacation because of a photo that he posted when he went on vacation on the beach. So perception has a lot to do with how somebody sees something and what they're thinking about that thing. So people out there in the environment, when they see Coach Prime on the YouTube videos, they see him talking to his sons on the cameras. When they see commercials, their perception of those things is that he's distracted, he's not focused, and it almost seems as if he's actually the one that's editing the video. So he's spending way too much time editing those videos. He's spending way too much time doing those commercials, and he must be doing that instead of coaching or preparing for coaching. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think perception is definitely two ways, right? There's definitely like the ignorant perception where they have no knowledge of something and they come to their own conclusions. And then there's another side of perception where the definition is what the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through senses, right? So you can see something go on and then you can conclude about something just based on what you see, what you heard, or what you just became aware of, right? And so I think with Prime itself, yes, you see some people who see these commercials, who see the videos. It's like, oh, he's distracted. But you do see other people who follow the videos, who know the track record of Coach Prime and what he brought, or what he did at Jackson State and what he's trying to bring in Colorado, but still is not fully on board based off the results of their seeing, right? Based off the things he say and how he contradicts himself. So I think there's like two sides of perceptions for sure.
Okay. So DC, you were the first to take on the perception question, and you lean into Coach Prime being distracted. So if we were to circle back after defining perceptions just a little bit more, do you still lean on the fact that you think he's distracted, or do you think that, oh, because of perception, people are going to judge him by a certain thing and he should not put that out there? What are your thoughts on that? Because perception is, if I feel like that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. And if people are seeing that, then maybe you should try to weigh that, right? You should try to figure out how to serve your constituents and how to not make them feel like you're not Joe Biden, where you're not on vacation.
Well, the reality is perception is like, remember I say we have the power of choice. You get to choose whatever you want, but you don't get to choose consequences. You don't get to choose the definition, and you don't get to choose the perception, regardless of what you want. And I think like sometimes, you know, when we have these conversations, like it's not fair. Often it isn't, but you don't get to choose it. And unfortunately, that's life. And you can't wish that away. What you can do is how you deal with it, you win. You win. There's no question about it. If you want to change perception at the end of the day, because like I said, we could talk about how much we love Coach Prime. I'm down for that conversation. We could talk about how much money we can make. We could talk about how they went from 1-11 to 4-8. We could talk about all that stuff. And I'm going to go, you're right, you're right, you're right. But if you want to talk about what the word you just said right now, which is perception, and what we've seen from games last year, the pattern and the game, though it's it is 2 games into this season, but we still have patterns from last season. So I got it. This is a new season. I'm thumbs up on that. I want to see them change, but you can't ask logical and critical thinking people like me, ignore the whole pattern, only look at it from right now, this point in time. That is not how human beings even do things. Okay. I think that he can turn this thing around, but the perception right now, and again, it has nothing to do with how I personally feel about Coach Prime. This is the perception out there, and you've been saying it all week, haven't you, Harry? Let's say this, and then I'll hold. The perception, they were voted to be 11th in the Big 12. So the perception was already there before one snap was made. And so far in 2 games, it validates more of that justification than it disputes it.
All right, so hold the line real quick, guys. Somebody asked for the definition of perception. So let's go to the definition of perception. Right now, we're just talking about perception. I'm going to bring my guy Phil on while we talk about the definition of perception. Phil So Real, what's up with you, man, brother? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Man, listen, they actually made me work today, so I'm ready to get on here and talk and enjoy myself and not think about work. So let's get to it.
Okay.
Hey, yo, hold on real quick, Phil. Hey, check this out, and then I'm gonna back up. If y'all want to get down like that in the chat and stuff like that, come on up here if you got something to say, but don't sneak this. The number, right there. Call in to the show. Let's do this.
Tell you, man, leave the comments alone, bro.
I'm like, let's do this. I'm like, dude, because I'm at this point where I got love for this community. But if you gonna talk that talk, if you really like that, if you just come on up here and let's have a discussion. But don't sneak this in there. We all got a love for Prime, but let's just do this thing respectfully. Now I'll let the haters of haters go back to hating.
Thank you, DC, for your interruption. Perception. Somebody want to know what perception is. And the reason why I'm talking about perception is because people don't understand. When you're having a conversation, right? Some people will be in the chat and they will be thinking like, this is what we think about Coach Prime. We're talking about as I'm describing it, people are like in the chat thinking like, this is what we're saying Coach Prime is. Perception has to do with how people are seeing Prime and what they're saying. It's called perception. What is perception? The ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses, the state of being or processing of becoming aware of something through the senses, a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, a mental impression. Let me put that part, let me say that part again. Okay, can we get this a little bigger? All right, let me put that one on the screen. A way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, a mental impression. There are people in our country that still believe that Joe Biden is on vacation as we speak, and he is not in the Oval Office doing his work. Perception. Because Trump said that Joe Biden, he's always on vacation. Remember that Obama was that same thing was levied against Obama. It's a tactic. It's a propaganda tactic to let people know that this person is not fit. All right, that's what it is. It's like it's a way of telling somebody that they're not fit. So if they're constantly thinking or doing something other than what we have them here to do, then my perception of them is that they're not focused on the job. It's as if you can't chew gum and walk at the same time. You feel me? So that's the perception that we're talking about, is how people are perceiving Prime out there. But they're not necessarily thinking about the fact that, oh, maybe he recorded that video some time ago, or the 2 seconds that he takes to talk to Bucky on a cell phone video that's being recorded. Those 2 seconds are way too much. He needs to focus his 100% attention on the game. And why are they right? Let's talk about that, Phil. Why are they right and why are they wrong? Phil, that's your question.
About their perception of him?
Why? Because when we talk about perception, is how somebody sees things, right? So if perception is how I see something, then the way that I see it, I'm right, no matter what you think. It's how I'm perceiving it.
So you know me, I don't really care too much for these types of conversations. I'd much rather talk about what's on the field. But as far as like perception, I think for the people that feel like they're right, based off of what they judge, I guess, a quote unquote good coach to be, or a program builder to be, if they're not seeing him do those things that support their definition of that, then they're going to be right in their perception. Whereas if somebody on the flip side has a different definition of that, they may say he's right on track. So I mean, it's that whole beauty's in the eye of the beholder situation. So it's really hard to just nail it down. But I think we can say that at this moment in Power 4, he has a losing record. I think that is a true statement to make. We can go in and explain why and give all the reasons in the world, but one thing we can't dispute is his record as a Power 4 coach, and it is a losing record right now. And what we've seen in the first 2 weeks of the season seems as though they're having the same issues as last year. I'm of the mind that a whole season needs to be looked at before you really can make a judgment. However, it is still fair to have concerns if you haven't seen a change in what you were expecting based off of what we saw last year.
And Ron Tate, if you are there, let me come to you and ask you this question. How do people, when it comes to reality, is it fair to say that people are judging you based on what your record is, and that's how they come to a conclusion based on their perception?
Well, it certainly plays a part in that. Whether you're a fair weather fan, a bona fide, diehard, bleed black and gold fan, or whether you're a bandwagon buff, we're going to give them that grace. So it can go either way. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
No, yeah. because
you did, Ron. I answered it. You did answer it.
Right. So I think that this is the point that I'm trying to drive across. there are different types of fan bases. I mean, the fan base has different sections of it. You got your very loyal people who are loyal to Coach Prime. Then you got your bandwagon buffs like us who are loyal to Coach Prime. I think a lot of us are falling in love with Colorado football or Colorado as a whole. And then you got your legacy fans who've known Colorado football all the way from the Eric Bieniemys, and they know the first Ralphie. You know what I'm saying? You got those type of fans, right? That've been through the ups and downs. So there are people that are going to say, hey, why you think Coach Prime is just 2 years in and da-da-da-da-da. I'm trying to drive the message home to let you guys know that the new fans, there's a lot of people who are here and they're not going to see it the way you see it. There are fans that are going to just pretty much just say, okay, I'm down for the season. The last show we had was about the grace, right? And allowing coach to grow naturally. So there are people that are not going to allow that. And that's only going to be based on their perception. Their perception is going to be, hey, you said you brought Louis luggage, but it seemed like it was dollar store or the brand is not holding up. So it doesn't smell and feel like Louis luggage.
Harry, let me ask you this, though. Here's the thing I would say is that we started off the season 0-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had absolutely awesome expectations, correct?
Right.
We had expectations
we said they were going to be like at least 3-0 by the time they got to Big 12 football.
Right. Most people said that. I didn't say that, but most people said that. And then we had goals. What were the goals of the CU fans? For Shedeur to be playoffs, Big 12, Shedeur to be in running for the Heisman or number one draft pick, for Hunter to be in running for the Heisman. We had all these goals, right? 10 NFL draft picks, all that. Mm-hmm. But now we got to start taking some things off the table. You see what I mean? So it's like the expectations that we had, we're now by just at game 2, we've had to take some stuff off the table.
Well, some people would take some things off the table, but I definitely won't. One thing I'll have to consider is my how they're going to win 10 straight games from here on out, because I said 10-2. Now, I have to recalculate my math as far as the results of the season. But as Phil So Real said, I think I'd like to wait until the season is over before I give my final evaluation on Coach Prime and his program for this year. Right now, I'm going to be a fan each and every week with my expectations. And one thing about this question of perception is a lot of reasons why a lot of athletes and a lot of coaches, the majority of them, I bet you probably almost 99% of them, you cannot listen or read or pay attention to the perception of others outside of your program.
But it's very hard for you to do that when you depend on those same people for energy. You understand what I'm saying? You depend on those same people because you ask on the fans to cheer at a certain time. You ask on the fans to support you for a certain time. So it's very hard to not have their perception counted. You feel me? That's why it's like,
no, you do count it, Harry, but you don't rely on it for your inspiration to play well. You don't rely on it for your inspiration to study or to practice hard. You don't rely on that. You cannot rely on someone else's perception of you. You have to, that comes from within. How hard.
So, Ron, the better way for me to phrase this is, I think this conversation is not for Deion Sanders or for the players. This conversation is for the different sections of the fan base, because you have a lot of people who don't know how to interpret the idea of perception. So
let me ask you this, Harry. Hold
on. I'm mostly having this conversation to help others in the fan base that don't understand how perception can drive how people approach the conversation that they have about Deion Sanders. Before you go, I have to bring in Cape Con. He's been waiting in the green room. Cape Con, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. How you doing today?
I'm good, Harry. Hi, everybody. What's happening?
All right, Cape Con, just hold on for 1 second. Let me let DC ask his question or
I,
have
I was gonna say this. All right, say you on a airplane, you're sitting in the seat, and a guy walks in with a green duffel bag. You can tell that's an army military duffel bag, and then a guy walks in with some Louis Vuitton luggage, and then somebody decides to take over the plane. Who's the person you think that you want to team up with to take the plane back?
I'm going with the
Give me
duffel
the
bag
Army duffel
guy.
bag. Give me the
Why?
Army duffel bag.
Why?
Because my perception, my
There you
assumption
go.
is that person got hands, whereas the Louis luggage guy get manicure and pedicures, which there's nothing wrong with.
I
But
rest my case.
you know,
Okay, well,
What the
if you're
heck?
going to use that, or if you're going to use that argument, then if you're looking at a team that has a coaching staff with the NFL experience that CU has, then and you're going into battle, then no matter how many blows you get hit with, you know that they're going to right the ship because of the perception you have of that experience. That's the same analogy you just used of the guy with the duffel bag.
Well, hey Ron, I mean, K-Com, I'm coming to you. We know the realities and we know the facts about NFL experience, but the perception right now is that doesn't matter because they're not winning. That is the perception. So it's like the NFL experience. We know what that means and what it comes with because of the facts of like that's the upper echelon of college of football. That's where you want to end up at. But why is it that it's not translating? Is it that they have it and they don't know what to do? But now it's changing the perception of the NFL experience. 127. Y'all can't figure out how to block for your quarterback. Like, stop playing with me. Cape Con, what are your thoughts, please, on this perception thing?
First of all, what perception of perception has different angles. So this is what I'll say. Looking at the two games, we scraped through as per pundits and sports analysts and all the experts. We scraped through that game NDSU, but
Escaped,
NDSU
barely escaped.
barely escaped. Okay, barely escaped. But NDSU are seasoned. They have a team that's been together for some time. We've just shipped out and shipped in.
Oh,
We
by
are
the
still
way, their
molding
next
and
game,
developing.
they smoked their opponent the next game.
There we go. So that
it was
shows you
it was Tennessee State, by the way.
And I think they give them like 50.
Yeah, it
but
was an
my
HBCU they beat. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. I don't think it's fine. What I'm saying is, it shows you we were also a test for them. So they brought their best because of the perception that we think we're better than you, because of the perception that our confidence precedes ourselves. That's the problem with perception in America. If you're too confident, you come across as cocky. If you say what you have and you're confident in what you have, you come across as someone who doesn't know what they're doing. You're fearful of losing. This is
Mm.
what I view from outside of America. I'm in South Africa.
How is it? How does that flip in South Africa? How do you guys? If somebody tells you that I think I'm like that, how do you guys see it?
Well, we don't see it until you prove it. We will always say to you, okay, so prove it then, because here
Okay.
the proof is in the pudding. So
Talk
you're
that
either
talk.
you're good at what you do or you're not good at what you do. And if you're not good at what you do, the results show. In this last game, we were not mentally prepared for the atmosphere. We froze out there, guys. First off, I'm telling you, I'm watching this live and I stayed up all night. I mean, from 2 a.m. till 5 a.m. I
Mm.
stayed with that game. Second half is where we came with our game plan. First half, they punched us in the mouth time and time again. They could see the new guys on the team. This is a fresh team that has no experience in these big games. It's not a lie, it's a fact. So, like Prime said, we need to pick ourselves up and we need to regroup. Now, on the perception question, on the perception question, yes, it is a perception of he doesn't know what he's doing. Look at the results, same errors. Of course, you're going to get the same mental errors from last year. We haven't played any games yet but two since the last loss. So you got to remember the kinks are still with us. However, the good thing about defense is we are able to react only a bit later. Offense hasn't reacted as well. Only in the first game, offense got it going because of obviously blown coverages and a few mismatches that we counted on. However, in this game, they planned against that. So even if we did counter, they had a plan for that counter, which we didn't have a plan for. So the perception was Prime can only play lower ranked opponents and cannot handle his class rank opponents, even though it's non conference. That's why Matt Rule was saying we're a team, we're a family. We not there's no individuals here. What is he saying? You guys are only you're only built on single players. You don't play as a unit.
Mm.
You understand? So my perception of this is if we keep like Harry B, like you what you're basically saying is why do we worry about the perception on outside noise, and then that influences our team and cohesion? Why
Mhm.
not focus and dial in? But my thing is we are allowing outside noise in anyway by expressing how we feel. YouTube videos are to promote and make money, but we don't have to show plays. That's my opinion. I don't like when they show the plays. I don't like when they show catches and stuff that's something that shouldn't be shown. Show after the next game has been played and how they practice for that game. Fine.
I,
But my thing is let us focus and dial in. We have to win this game. Just to answer, we have to win CSU. I mean CSU, right? Colorado State.
yeah.
Yep. All right.
You
So, but
have
hold
that's a
that thought
must.
though. Let's not
That's
get
a
into
must
that
win.
yet. Let me bring
Oh,
on.
sorry,
Yeah, you're going a little further. Let me bring
sorry,
on
man. Sorry.
see you, Buff Dynasty. Welcome to the show, brother. Thank you for calling in. You get the last word on this perception thing, or we can just jump straight into football if you don't care about this perception thing.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, fellas?
How you doing today, man?
All right. So perception for me is just a false analyzation off of what I think you're doing. That's all it is to me, perception. It's not reality. It's your reality, but it's not the actual reality. So it's just a false analyzation of what I think you're doing. That's all I gotta say on perception.
So let me just put this all encapsulate all of this. What I think you're doing is the perfect thing, the perfect reason why I think we are responsible for controlling the perception. I think it's I think it's very important that because Prom said that they are trying to control their own narrative, they also have to control the perception of the people. They have to be careful on controlling that perception because people you cannot change, like DC said. You can put stuff out there, but you're not going to control how they see it and what they see. Just like Biden doesn't control, he can put out a photo of him on vacation. Obviously, presidents are not supposed to have vacations, right? So you can put it out there, but how people see it, they're going to say, well, there's a war going on. Why are you on vacation? Right? So we can control how should we put out the photo? Should we not put out the photo? Should Coach Prime not have well-off media there, even though they're probably not in the way doing anything? Should he not do commercials just to appease you? Should he not do what he does just so we can be happy? I think it's up to Coach Prime to determine and to control that narrative and to let people know what it's going to be. And we allow him to do him because at the end of the day, winning is going to solve everything. Then we dial back on our perceptions because now he's winning. So it's almost like we're going to now rent you a little bit more time for grace because this conversation is only allowed or only happening because of the losing. Do we all agree or not?
Of course.
Yes.
You are
Right.
100% correct.
So
And
that's why we're allowing it because of that perception. Because once you start losing, we're already thinking. Remember, guys, I I do this on purpose. These conversations are on purpose. All right. So I
I
said,
have a little bit of pushback on that, Harry, just a tad.
okay, go ahead.
I'll just say this: you can win, and people will still have an issue with the way you're doing things. Um, some people didn't like the Golden State Warriors, when they had Durant because they felt like they were front running. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always a situation where if you lose, that's when people are going to be critical of you. I think when you just have any kind of spotlight on you, people are going to be critical. Like Dion said, the fan only blows when it's hot. So if you hot just because people looking at you, people talking about you, whether you deserve that attention or not, you're gonna get talked about, win, lose, or draw. And I think Dion is just a person that is going to garner a lot of attention from people. Therefore, there's going to be criticism of him, win, lose, or draw.
Well, yeah, but that's it. But right now, the only reason why we're even okay to have this conversation without people like cussing us out and canceling us is because now the idea of him not showing up in certain games is allowing them to give him that borrowed grace. Like, right, like they're pulling back their Reddit grace. They're pulling back the early on in the season. When I have these conversations, you got to understand, people, DC would not be able to get a word off. I promise you. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get into football. Perception is we're gonna set perception to the side. And for those of you out there that don't understand that how this perception thing works and why people are feeling the way they're feeling, this is the reason why I had that conversation, so you can understand that it doesn't have to come from us. It can come from the general public.
Hey, Harry.
Yes.
I like to throw something in there that I guess the gentleman's from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Cape Con,
that
joined us. Now he made something that has been bothering me. This is the second year that it's bothering me, and that's with the media access and the way CU is allowing media access. I don't think any 11 on 11, whether it's scout team or the number ones, should be aired, should be filmed, because there are certain things each time they do that I look and I see. I was like, man, that's giving up too much information. And I see something else, and I'm like, wow, why would they do that? That's giving up too much information, whether it's offensively or defensively. And that
so it's like you're preparing. It's like you're preparing your opponent.
You are definitely giving him a little more ammunition to work with to prepare for you when you do that. There's enough information and there are enough avenues for the media and for Well Off and Reach the People and the program and whatever else media is out. There's enough out there that they can do without showing those type of situations at any time during the season. Of the first game, second, at any time during the season, those type of things should be off limits to the public.
But how often do we really see them do a play from start to finish? Usually, from what I've seen,
you don't need to see a play from start to finish to analyze. But you can analyze a lineman. You can analyze the alignment. You don't need to see the entire thing. You can analyze the depth of a receiver. And
I get what you're saying, but I just think there's only so much that they can really get. I don't think any coach worth their salt is going to use Well Off as a way to really scout CU. I think they're going to use the all 22, and that will tell you the story you need to know about Colorado, not Well Off.
No, listen. You're missing what I'm saying. When you are analyzing a team to prepare for them defensively, offensively, and special team, and the what they are going to be doing, then you look at every small bit. You don't have to study it. Let's say, okay, you look at this alignment and you pass it on to your offense and your defensive coaches and tell your offense and defensive linemen to look and see what they can gather from what they're seeing from that video.
I hear you. I guess my ultimate point is that there are more valuable sources of film to really break down a team than using.
I'm not saying that any team is going to look at what the media, those things, what those YouTubers are putting on to analyze, prepare for CU. That's additional information, is what I'm saying. That is definitely additional information. And I tell you, they're going to be running crossing routes this game, 5 to 7 yards. Let's see if it happens.
I mean, they've been doing that.
Have they?
They've won with that in Jackson State, right? Because didn't they put out videos on the practice?
Jackson State.
Did they do?
Okay,
was
I'm
there
talking
well
about
off
this
in
year.
Jackson State?
To stop the 5-step drops. They're doing 3-step drops in this game coming up.
And they're also adding more linemen. But like we know this. So.
You're not going to garner barely any information from a well-off pregame or reach the people media that's going to help you in scheming in a football game against the Colorado Buffaloes. You don't get that much, and they are way smarter not to give you anything barely that can help you.
Well,
Right,
I got pissed off when I saw one play this past week that I don't think they should have aired, and that really I didn't get pissed off, but it really bothered me that they aired that one play. So
And
I mean, I understand
to be honest, guys, the plays that we partially get to see ran on all those filmings, we don't even see those formations of plays in the game. To be honest,
that's not true.
We don't.
That is not true.
We don't. All we see is 4 wide and pass. We don't. I see all type of formations and stuff in practice, and all type of people getting the ball. I haven't seen it in the game time yet.
What personnel do they normally set in? What is the offensive coordinator's go to? What personnel do they send in? Isn't it 10 personnel?
It's either 10 or 11. Most of the time,
Right.
he's going to have a tight end.
But he
out there,
can't make
they
12.
may-
He can't play, and then it's 4 wide out. But what do they practice with when you're watching the videos? Isn't it 10?
Wing backs,
But the offensive, but the linemen sit in what formation? Isn't it 10?
Yes. Yes.
So then, when you're practicing, like he says, how you practice, how you play. I'm not saying that it's entirely 100% accurate to say you are right. You are right. Not everything is from there, but when you're studying how a team is designed or being built, as they like to say in the States, you guys are building programs. There's a way in which there's many different ways you can do it, right? Prime is doing it the NFL way. Get experienced guys in, mix with a couple of freshmen, get experience coaching from players who actually play the game, get them coaching license, get them in exposure, right? What we are saying is do that, expose what you want to expose that doesn't happen in the game. But when you constantly show 10 personnel practicing, we already know that's your identity. So we can pre-game plan our first game without even watching one film, knowing 10 personnel is coming out 4 wide. That's who they are. How do we know that? We're watching and you're well off. When now you played versus NDSU, it showed the whole game. The running game was spats. Second game, what did Nebraska do? They used that to their advantage, number one, from the previous game's film, plus any advantage you can get from watching a YouTube video, you will use. But I agree with the fact that it's not entirely any experienced coordinator wouldn't use that. I'm just saying I don't like the fact that show anything else, show them, show drills, show contact, but don't show plays. That's all I'm saying. I'm just skeptical like that. I'm just skeptical like that.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's it's smart. Don't show plays. Don't show any plays because I don't look when I'm spying for the other team on the other teams, I don't see their plays. The only thing I see is like maybe they will cut to a guy catching the ball just to kind of hype the fans up. Like, oh, he made a catch. Woo, you're right. They don't go through a whole progression of a play. You know what I'm saying? So
look at the run plays. Look at the run plays that they have been running this year. All during the summer and all during the fall camp. When you would see a run play, it was either inside zone or a dive. What do they do in the game? They run an inside zone or a dive. A gap, B gap.
all right, guys, let's look at this depth chart real quick because I got DC waiting for us to do the betting lines on this game so that we can get to the game before we get up out of here. So All right, guys, your thoughts on the offense. We got wide receivers: Will Shepard, Omarion Miller, Jordan Onovo, Jimmy Horn Jr., Michael, Caleb Williams. We got Travis Hunter, Terrell Timmons. We got Isaiah Harge, LaJohntay Wester, Draylon Miller, Asad Wasim. Any thoughts on? And we can just get one person to speak on the wide receivers.
Is this up to date?
This is the CSU
Because
CSU depth chart.
Isaiah Hodge is out on injury right now.
Yeah, I was going to say this depth chart
I don't know if
is
it's
not
up to
really
date or not.
accurate. You know,
Yeah,
This is what they put out for.
I know they put it out, but there's just some
yeah.
things
They
where
just
it's
they
like,
just put it out. It's not accurate.
Yeah.
They just put it out. Because Isaiah
may
Hodge
not
is on the
see
injury
them.
list right now, actually on the sideline.
And we said when we get to the running backs, we did say that Dallin is also injured as well, right? Didn't Coach Prime say that?
Yeah,
yeah,
he's out.
he's not playing, and he's second.
But Dallin is on here from top of he's the
Right.
second.
Right. That's
Yeah.
just it's a wash depth chart.
They did get the safeties right though.
Okay, so but isn't a depth chart something that's official? Don't they have to do that?
No,
Oh, you don't have to put out a depth. You don't have to let the media know or people know about the depth chart.
it may change.
It could change though.
It may change.
You
Everybody
have
got
to
don't
get
wanna
something
tell
to the game caller, to the announcer guy.
Right. So
Yeah,
that
they normally put the
isn't that
depth charts
official
in like
part
the
of it?
program. They normally put them in like the programs or whatever.
Yeah, he may give him the real depth chart on Saturday before the game. You never know.
Oh, okay. So
But that one right there is not accurate.
right, because I mean, in his press conferences, he was saying that certain people were injured. So okay, all right, DC.
So
Let's go to
yesterday,
DC.
when I looked at well off, Isaiah Hodge and Dallin Hayden was on the sideline with no pads on.
And Chidoze as well too.
And Chidoze, yeah.
And they have him starting on the depth chart.
And,
All right.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Harry. Go ahead.
You would say what you're going to say.
No, I was just going to point out with Chidozie, because he didn't practice yesterday, I'm not confident that he'll be playing Saturday. Based off of what Dion has said in the past, he likes to see one good practice out of somebody before he says whether or not they're going to be able to come back. If he hasn't practiced, correct me if I'm wrong to my football guys, but normally on a Friday before a game Saturday, you're not having like a full-on practice if you're
Right.
just going to have a walkthrough at all. So I would keep an eye out for whether or not Chidozie starts, because I think he's been one of the bright spots on the defensive line this year.
Yes, he has. Hey, Harry,
Yeah.
right? Could you? I can't see the names; it's too small for me. But the running backs, could you go down that list? I'm looking. Is there an Isaiah Augusta?
I think he's number 4 on the. No, he's number 3 on the list. I think it's Charlie, Hayden, the Augusta guy, and then Welch, if I'm not mistaken.
I
So
hope.
if the depth chart was correct for this week, I think Isaiah would be RB2 behind Charlie, because he is the only other back that has had actual carries in a football game.
Correct. So yeah, the order I said was correct, but yeah, Hayden is not going to play. So your top 3 guys based off the depth chart will be Arfadal, Augusta, and then Welch. And
Now,
then Hood if needed.
a lot of people are, they're kind of talking about they don't like the fact that that Charlie is starting, but the what the coaching staff is saying that he's trustworthy. I think that's
It's
what a lot
terrible.
of us talked about last year.
Nah,
It's
Coach
terrible.
Lee literally said that he
It's
grades
terrible.
out higher than the other running backs,
It's absolutely obnoxious. It's just
which
the
is
stupidest
like
thing in the
that just
world.
lets me know Coach Lee need to go.
They ain't see you, Buff Dynasty. You ain't
It is-
you ain't
it's
holding
just-
back.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I have a question.
Now you got to say it like Charles Barkley. It's terrible.
Yeah, when we talking about
Terrible.
that right there, it's just I don't understand it, man. I'm
Yeah.
at a
So
loss for
okay,
words.
so are we talking Michael Welch, Brandon Hood? Who we talking?
I think Micah should start. My opinion.
I think
Baldwin
Isaiah should
County,
start.
Georgia.
I wish Dylan Hayden wasn't injured. I would put him as a starter, based on his after contact run ratio. He has heavy hitting ability. So when he gets contact first time, he knows how to handle that. Charlie needs to be built up. He's not so he's my favorite, but I would use him out the backfield. small guy, make a man miss, get a first down, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Nah.
Dylan,
I think you have to
that's what
space out Charlie. I don't think
Charlie-
space him out.
I'll put Charlie in when like my running backs need a breather. Then I'll put Charlie in.
that too. Space him.
especially
Yeah.
especially not on
keep
fourth
in
and
mind how
one.
they keep in mind how they used Dylan Edwards too. they mismanaged Dylan Edwards as well.
So we're
So-
seeing a pattern, is what you're saying.
We are
Favoritism,
seeing a
bro.
pattern. There's a pattern of mismanagement of talent.
Hey, listen, but there's a strategy.
That
to
sounds like a good coach to me.
No.
There's a strategy.
Stop
don't
playing,
want-
Phil. You're teetering.
Okay, facts are facts, though, guys. Do we know what yards per carry Augusta ever had against Welsh? Do we?
I
know?
can pull
Did
that
Welsh
up.
play
I can
any-
pull that up.
Okay.
Against Welsh? Welsh hasn't played
Yeah.
yet.
Oh, he hasn't played.
No, he
Okay.
hasn't played.
Okay,
aren't they both freshmen or Augusta was a freshman last
Isaiah's
year?
a sophomore. Micah's a freshman.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Micah
So
didn't
Micah-
even, I don't think he traveled last game too.
So why don't we start Micah since he's fresh?
Micah just proved he's shown it in spring and fall. Like that's the thing. It's not
Right.
like I just don't understand. Like he's shown he's capable of running.
Well, he was hurt. Is he healthy now?
Was he hurt?
Yes, he was.
Oh, he was hurt. Okay.
All right, guys, we'll get into the details on this, but let's get to the game. Let's get to the betting lines. DC, are you ready, my guy?
I am ready. Y'all ready?
Before you start, let me get Tim in the on the panel. Tim, welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. How you doing today, sir?
All is well. All is well.
man.
We are about to get into the game. We are talking betting lines. Let's talk about what are the spreads. Go ahead, DC. Give us the info.
All right. So during the summer, this game was about an 8.5, somewhere around that. It dropped to 7.5. That being Colorado betting line being to win 7.5, and now it's at 7. So that means that doesn't mean that they think Colorado's horrible necessarily or has gotten worse. It's just sometimes it depends on where they put the money. So Colorado right now is a 7-point favorite. So what you would have to do is to win, you would go and place your money. Now we have to decide, would I place my money for Colorado to win by over 7 points, or would I pick Colorado State to at least cover, meaning Colorado State kept it within 7?
So
Ooh,
people who
that
made
rough
money,
like that,
people who
DC.
made money on the
It
Nebraska.
is, bro. It is.
Good Lord have mercy.
And look at this for the people that don't really know don't understand the spread. When you have Colorado being the favorite, when the game starts,
Hey guys, mute your
instead
mics,
of
guys.
being-
Everybody, mute your mics, please. Go ahead.
All right. So what that means is when the game starts, instead of it being 0-0, the game will start. And just imagine that Colorado State already has 7 points. And so from that point on, Colorado has to, at the very least, beat them by 1 point to get the over. And if they stay within those 6 points, that's the under. So that's an easy way to think about it. Go ahead and give Colorado State 7 points to start the game if you're trying to understand the spread.
So Harry, does Colorado win and cover? Because they say good teams win, but great teams cover. Does Colorado, and I'm gonna go down a paddle. Does Colorado win and cover, or does Colorado State cover?
Colorado actually
I-
covers.
I'll go to CU Buff Dynasty.
Oh no,
Go for
man!
it.
No, Harry, you gotta
I'm
answer
serious.
the question, man. You be ducking and dodging, man. Come on, bro.
And
Come
keep
on,
in
answer
mind,
the question.
and keep
That is
in mind,
a
I got some. And keep in mind, I got 2 player plays, like how many yards Travis will get and how many yards Shador will get and touchdown. But we'll get into that in just a moment. But let's just go down the paddle. See you, Buffs. What you putting your money on?
I actually got me.
Hold on, before you do that, let me bring everybody
ahead.
onto the panel. Let me bring CSB to the panel so we can all answer.
Okay.
Hey, CFB, what's up, man? How you doing today? All right,
I'm
so
good, bruh.
all right, good. All right, so hold the line. So let me go down the line. DC, let's start with Obi. Obi, what do you answer the question, please, if you can.
Damn, why you gonna start with me? I think they're gonna cover. I said they cover.
CU's gonna cover.
So CU will win and cover. All right.
Hey, can y'all explain that one more time again? Because I don't think I got it. I'm sorry, it's just me. Can y'all explain what the cover means one more time? Like, what does it have to do? What happens? What happens?
So whatever that number is, so that 7 for the spread, that means if you cover, that means you go over the spread. You cover the spread. So that means that means Colorado will win by 8. If they don't
Okay.
cover the spread, that means Colorado won by 6 points or less or lost outright.
Okay, so it's basically winning by whatever, like Texas, the Texas Truth says win by more than whatever the number is.
Correct.
Okay, so you can win by 1 point more, or you can win by more. Just like Nebraska covered because they won by more than 7.5.
Yeah, but see, you know, I'm
And it
gonna
should have
say
been
this
worse.
as we move on through it, because Harry, you can call who you want to go next. It's that would mean you have to win by more than a touchdown or 3 field goals or something like that. So I'm looking at this game from my standpoint is NDSU, that was a 5-point game, but Colorado was a 7.5 point favorite. So they did not cover. Of course, they didn't cover last game. So now you have to decide, do I believe that Colorado is going to beat Colorado State by over a touchdown? Go.
All right, Ron Tate, your turn.
They're going to win by 21 points.
Okay.
Ron,
That's a
man, let me
break.
ask you something. You drank the crap out that Kool-Aid, boy, before you made that one, didn't you? I'm messing
shook
with
it
you.
well.
Go ahead, bro. That's all right. Go
He
ahead.
shook the Kool-Aid well before he drunk it. Phil Sorrell, your turn. Do they cover or not?
They cover.
All right, Cape Con, do they cover or not?
They cover.
Okay. See you, Buff Dynasty, do they cover? We'll come back to see you, Buff Dynasty. Tim, do they cover? All right, Tim.
Yes, they win and cover.
They win and cover. CSB Leo, do they cover?
Yeah, they win and cover. I have it 24-14.
24-14. See you, Buff Dynasty. Are you there?
He already said cover, I believe.
Okay. So I would say cover. I can say cover, but it's going to be a tough game.
Can I just point something out real quick? If we were all on College game day and we did this and Colorado State won, the very first thing they would do is post the picture of all our names and our talking heads saying that Colorado was gonna cover. They're gonna be like, yeah, what y'all think now? So I'm just saying
that ain't age well. So
hopefully we're not giving
think
Colorado State something to eat off of, you know what I mean?
Well, wait a minute, because I got to give my pick. Colorado State, Colorado does not cover Colorado State. I'm not saying Colorado State wins outright. I think they can, but Colorado does not cover in this game.
Yeah, I think Colorado covers. So what do we need to see? What does Colorado have to do? See you above CSB, I'm coming to you. What does Colorado have to do that you need to see for them to cover?
I need to see on the first offensive drive a tight end run out there with either Micah or Isaiah, and then I know I'm about to watch the kind of football game that I want to watch. So that's just right out of the gate. We know that what they've shown so far is a lack of creativity in the run game, and even when they have run the ball, they haven't put their offensive line in position to succeed based on the formation or the down and distance and things like that. So that's what I'm looking for right out of the gate. A commitment to the run. I'm looking for at least 20 to 25 carries in this game. And it's not, I think style points a win is not just a win in this game for me. Style points are going to matter. And I want to see them effectively put together long drives. We know they're a quick strike offense. Maybe they could beat you and get downfield. But I think to make this adjustment, this change, this new CU in game number 3 really give fans the confidence that we're looking for as we look down at the rest of the schedule. I think they're going to need to be able to put together long drives and getting first downs on second and third down consistently. But that's what I'm looking for in this game.
And just to answer the Texas Truth, so he just picked CU to lose. You keep in mind you're betting. This is a betting line. This is not emotional. It's not an emotional thing when you're betting money or you're just betting. So yeah, I mean, if you believe that based on CU and how they've been playing, and you're gonna put your money on somebody, the question was not about, hey, you as a CU fan, do you believe CU can win the game? That was not the question. This is betting line we're talking about. So if you're spending money, you're not spending money based on emotion.
Yeah, that's why I'm making the pick that I'm making. It has nothing to do with what I think about Colorado Prime. It makes the point of so far on the 2 games, even though I did do I had my gut pick, but then I did my feel good pick. But my gut pick was right. My gut pick last week was the game was going to start off with Tupac. How do you want it? And it was going to end with don't take it personal. And that's exactly what happened. And the other one was, I thought, it is what it is, right?
You ain't wrong when you're right, DC.
It is what it is. Right. Because the physicality, I felt that was going to be a problem. Now, let's go into the money. Let's go into the score, being the over-under. The score is 58.5, meaning you can bet that the point totals for both teams will be over 58.5, so basically 59 points, or it would be under. So do you think between those 2 teams, which do you think is will they have a combined score of over 58.5 points or under 58.5 points?
And before people start answering, I'm going to go down the line. But DC's gut answer was 35-24 Nebraska. That was the first thing before CSB charmed him into changing his mind.
I'm gonna say like Surfer Boy. No, I got scammed like Surfer Boy. No, Yardman said. Yardman said Leo scammed. I got scammed too, Yardman. You got me. No, I'm just kidding.
Before he got scammed, it was 35-24. So this is betting line, and trust me, there are CU fans that they'll put. If you putting your money up, you can go against your own team to make money. This has nothing to do with how you feel. This is more how do you. Okay, so let's go over under. Let's start with we're going backwards this time. CSB Leo, over under. Are you going over or under?
Oh, over. And yeah, man. Listen, in DC. I guess you now know, right? You can't fall for the same trick twice. So if I pull the wool over your eyes the first time, don't let me do it again. But the point I was trying to make is beyond just the score is some of the other things that we talked about. So yes, I believe that they're going to cover this game. They have to. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to focus on football because the conversation is going to continue to revolve around whether
I'm going to get into that. We're going to that's the top of the question. Like, does CU have to win this game? We'll get into that in a little bit after we finish the betting stuff. All right, so you said they cover. You're going over or under? I'm sorry.
Over under on what? Are they going to cover? Yes.
I think we were talking
on the points. Do you think that the combined total? Put it like this: do you believe that the combined total of the scores from both teams will be over 58.5?
Oh no, under. Okay, under.
You said combined total, like the 2 teams are going to score over 58.5. You said
right. Like last week it was 59.
Okay.
Right. If the score is 35-20, then that would be what, 55 points?
Right.
Yeah, so I have it 24-14, so that's 42 points. So yeah, they're under.
All right, so over or under, that's what we're doing right now, guys. Over under 58.5 or under. Tim Smith, over or under 58.5?
I got him at under. I got the score at 31-17. My predictions.
Okay. See you, Buff Dynasty. Are you here? I think he's busy. All right, Cape Con, are you over or under 58.5?
Look, I'm judging last week's performance. Defense could be tight. I'll say under. I'm not going over. I just think it'll be a tight contest with low scoring, 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Oh, hold on. I got a couple of people that want to join the panel. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me send this email. Then we will continue. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to produce a show and host it at the same time. So, all right. Who that just go? That was Cape Con. All right, Phil So Real. Phil So Real are the 58. Over
I'm
or
going
under?
under. I'm going
going-
under.
Round table, are you going over or under?
Under 38-10.
38-10. Obi, are you going over or under?
Under.
Under. Can you all explain your reason real quick? Obi, what is your reasoning for why you think they're going under?
Under. I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points. I say Colorado State. I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points. I don't think it's going to go over 58.
Harry, one thing I'm going to tell you is I'm taking the under. Colorado can run the ball, and I'm going to take the under continually until I see a weak defense or at least an incompetent defense. Mainly because the way to beat Colorado is run the ball, eat clock, get time of possession. So if you're doing that, then you're not throwing the ball all over the field, and you're not doing it. You're not getting to a shootout because nobody wants to get into a shootout with Colorado. That's why I'm choosing it. The problem, I think, is the longer you stay in those lower scoring games, that just pushes Shedeur further away from having any shot of winning the Heisman. And it could impact Hunter too. So you can win, but again, the scheme is, anybody knows, if you've seen the past two games, and I don't expect it to change, is that you run the ball and get time of possession, and that is your best way to beat Colorado. You play them on the ground because they haven't shown they can stop the run effectively, consistently. Yes, second half, but if you get up on them early, it's over. So that's my methodology, and that's why I'm going to choose the under.
Okay. All right, JD, we are welcome to the show. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you. We're doing over under the point spread. How you doing today?
What's up, bro? I'm going with the under for the same. I don't know who just spoke, but for the same exact reason why he said I'm choosing the under. If Colorado State can run the ball effectively, which I believe they will. I mean, they got 150 yards rushing on Texas, and if you keep the basically how you beat Colorado right now is your offense is your best defense. So if you keep control the clock, run the ball, keep getting first down, and staying ahead of the sticks, and play good defense, because we all know that Colorado, as of right now, has a leaky faucet in the run defense. So I would go with the under, and I will sprinkle on it. Well, I don't know if y'all going money line yet, but I'm going under.
So yeah, I'm
and for
taking
the spread.
the
I'll probably take Colorado State on the spread. I would
Yeah, I'm
take
taking
Colorado State on the spread.
Oh, okay. I like it.
On the spread, just maybe I think probably come down to a field goal or something like that late, maybe, possibly. But yeah, that's my predictions.
I'm going over. And the reason why I'm going over is because I believe that Shedeur is going to be a little bit more protected this time around, and is going to be a little similar to the NDSU game. Maybe not as much, but I think Colorado's going to score, but Colorado State's also going to be scoring, because our defense, when the ball drops in the middle of our defense, nobody's there, and that's
But
how
that's
Go ahead.
Oh, and one last one more thing. Let me. I also believe, I don't know if number 14 from Colorado State is playing. I know he hurt right now with a groin injury. So if he don't play, that's even more reason why I would go with Colorado State to cover, because they probably won't run the ball as much, because that's their best receiver. So, and their quarterback is a running quarterback a little bit, and we know Colorado has trouble also with running quarterbacks.
They moved him from doubtful to questionable. What I
he's
saw,
going to play, bro. He's
right.
going to
So
play.
Can I say something real quick, Harry?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the defense is gonna come out with a vengeance this week. They've been told, this is going on week 3, that they only show up in the second half. I got a feeling that they're gonna show up in the first half. They're gonna come out swinging versus just sitting back to the second half to come out swinging.
I don't trust Colorado coaching. I lost trust in Colorado coaching, so now they're going to have to show me. That's why I said show me. I don't.
So let me ask. So has everybody gone? Because I was going to move on to the odds on passing next.
Yes. Everybody's gone. Go ahead.
All right. So with that, talking about Shedeur and passing, right now the player bet you can have is, I'm going to do the one for Shedeur as well as for Nicolosi, who is CSU. The odds are that Shedeur, the over under that he will pass for over or under 315.5 yards.
For Shador, you said?
Yes.
Or just-
Some places have them. Some places have the betting 317, one at 321, but we're gonna settle on at 315. Basically, you're betting will Shador pass for over 300.5 yards or under?
I'm going.
Can I go? Can I go? guys?
let
'Cause I
me
already have
start.
my-
Let me start with JD. Let's go backwards. JD and then Tim, and we'll keep going like that.
Can you hear me?
JD, go ahead. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, where he got that FanDuel prize picks? Where's that at?
Where you
I got
getting
that off of Action Network, but I have been looking at FanDuel's too.
Man, that's a TLP sports betting line.
Yeah, TSP sports betting line. Yeah.
So JD locked off. He got bumped out. Tim Smith. Okay, JD's back.
I'm gonna go with over.
Hold on, Tim. Over or under 315 passing yards, Shador is on your screen. That's what we're talking about right now.
Because
So,
FanDuel's has 321. FanDuel's has
Uh,
321.5, but we going with 315.5.
I mean, honestly, I don't believe that Colorado gonna say they're gonna run the ball like they said he will. So,
yeah,
they
it's
got
hard to trust these guys now.
yeah, they got 75 rushing yards in 2 games. So I'm gonna go over, cause I do believe they would go back to their bread and butter, which is airing the ball out. So I'm gonna say over.
All right, so JD got over. Tim, you said what did you say, Tim?
I said over as well.
You said over 315 yards. Okay.
Correct.
See you above Dynasty is he's on vacation right now. He's not here with us. He's just on the panel. He's probably in the meeting. Cape Con, where are you over or under 315 passing yards?
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go with the word caution. I think this is a must-win game. I give him 295, 300 yards. They'll mix the run. We're not going to be good at the run, but we're going to be consistent with trying to run the football to keep it balanced. That's what I see, and that's what I feel.
So okay, are y'all trusting the coaching with like what they're telling y'all? Because right now it's like it's
What are
very
they
hard
telling
for
us?
me.
I'm not trusting their coaching.
They keep telling
Honestly,
us they're going to run every game. They're telling us we're going to
I
run.
think-
We're going to run, but it's hard to trust somebody once they've fooled you like 3 times already.
I
It's hard to
trust it
trust
this
their
week.
words.
I trust it because Bucky literally said he had to talk with his dad and say, hey, like he had to like give him a real talk with him. and
Yeah, I
let
don't
him
care.
know, like,
I don't care about that. I don't trust.
Listen,
that.
listen.
Harry,
I'm gonna tell you-
look, this is
No, that's
this
what
is
I'm
how I
saying.
feel.
I don't
This is
care what
how-
Bucky says. I don't care
No,
what
but what I'm
anybody says.
saying
I don't
is
trust
like
them.
they're already implemented like linemen to like, go in because one, we don't have tight ends. So our tight ends don't block. So they're adding extra linemen to make sure we're running the ball as well too. I will just know for sure if I see Charlie starting. If I still see Charlie starting, then I'll like, okay, we're probably not going to run. But like if Charlie's not starting, then it's like,
Yo,
okay,
leave
then,
Charlie alone. Yeah,
bro, he's not a
I
starter.
keep telling you, Charlie is not. It's the product of mismanagement. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Charlie has to be managed well. Dylan, you got to manage talent differently. You got
Right.
Dylan Edwards, who was fast and small. So what do? You got to put him in space. Coach Prime himself said that Charlie is not as. Let me run straight at this 300-pound guy, and I'm swift enough to be able to get around him. Charlie's not that guy. Charlie is dependable and he gets the job done, but you got to use his talent for his talent. You can't just put him in any situation and think he's gonna be good.
I
agree.
agree, but he's not a starter.
That's
Yeah,
fine,
I agree
but-
with that too. But what the thing with Charlie is he's like a first. If you're gonna start him, you got to get on the ball on first and second down. You can't get a ball on third and short or fourth and short and expect him to pick up the first down.
Get him warmed up.
Either.
Bro, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm not to go back on the Nebraska game, but let me just say something. The defense Nebraska in is a 3-3-5 defense, right? If anybody know anything about defense, anything know about that particular coverage, it's meant for you to run the ball. So they dared Colorado to run the ball, and they still didn't do it. We have 3 down linemen and 3 linebackers. That means you have a nose guard and 2 2 defensive ends. So, the B gap is open on both sides. So they did not run the ball. So my thing is, and Coach Prime was like, well, the box was a heavy box. A 3-3-5 is a 6-man front. That means the box is still light. You can still run the ball. That means you
You
have
spread
5.
it out. You got to spread out the defense.
Exactly. No. In the 3-3-5, you can run the ball. But the thing is, see, why I don't believe it's going to be hard for them to run this week is because you haven't seen it in the past 2 weeks. You just can't implement a creative run game in 4 or 5 days and think shit is about to happen. Like, it's not about to work like that. You don't see no traps, no pulls, no counters on anything. So that's why it's going to be hard for them to run the ball, even if they decide to run the ball, because the linemen haven't really done it in the game.
But JD, I think what happened last week is they tried to they knew the middle was tight, so that's why they tried to go out and hit the perimeter, but they weren't making those plays, so then they just abandoned it too quick
What was
versus
tight,
keeping
though?
it.
The box was light. It was a light box. It's 6 men in the box.
I just think
they had opportunities to run the ball.
I don't think
it's simply put, they had opportunities to run the ball and they didn't.
JD, straight up, I believe they don't trust their line.
Yeah, they don't trust the line
It's
at
the
all.
scheme.
They don't trust it.
Come on.
It's both. It's both.
It's the scheme. It's the plays that they were calling, the type of plays that they were calling. You had 2 NFL defensive tackles there. Then you don't run directly at them. You don't send Charlie Offerdahl in an A or a B gap with those guys sitting in there.
I can agree with that, Ron.
It's the scheme. You can run. You can.
I know. I
But
can't
Like
say that
man
enough.
said, you can run on that defense. That 3-3-5, you can run on it, but you
But the
don't
thing
run in
is-
a straight line at it. You run on angles.
Right. It's not.
But
the
there's
thing
only
is,
so much you can do
spread
when
it
you're
out.
outmanned too, though. Nebraska was simply the better team that day.
What do you
There's
mean
only so much
outmanned?
scheming that was going to help.
Wait.
Them boys in Nebraska were
They had
better.
12 and you had 1?
Excuse me. They were more talented than
Thank you.
Colorado.
Like, oh man,
No.
like, dang.
I
No,
got some pushback
to my
that,
point.
Phil.
nah.
That's
I
cool, but
disagree.
if I can finish my point, though, if I could just finish what I'm saying, I think, in my opinion, based off my perception and all those other keywords we've been using today, it would not have mattered on a grand scale if they tried to do different schemes, because I think Colorado's defensive line can just whoop CU's offensive line, point blank, period. So I don't think there's only so much that could have been done.
You can't disagree with
to-
that. I agree with that,
offset
but
it.
that's why we keep screaming scheme, because they're bigger, they're better, and they're faster. So don't go straight at them. Go around them, because they're not superheroes. They're not superheroes. So if somebody's bigger than you, and stronger than you, don't go. If you're wrestling them, don't go bear hug them. Try to slap them and run.
Hey, let me ask. So have we finished that one? Because I've got 2 more. And the Texas Truth,
No.
yeah, I'm tracking on.
I haven't done mine yet.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
We ain't got
ahead.
everybody yet. Hey, Phil, we didn't get Phil. Let me go down the line. Phil, you go, and then Ron Tate.
I initially said under, but I'm actually gonna go with the over. I think that
You don't trust the run.
yeah, I just think they're gonna be pass happy.
Yeah, I don't trust none of the coaches. I don't care anything you say after this. After you fool me like at least 3 times, and you keep saying run since last season, I don't trust a word coming out of your mouth, and I don't care who your son is.
Hey,
go-
real quick, I got a saying I always tell my son. I said, I can't hear your lies when your actions are speaking so loud. So they can say whatever they want to, but their actions are gonna do all the talking on Saturday.
I know, and I can't trust them. I have no trust in any of the coaching staff when they say anything anymore, because you don't do it. You say you're going to run. You keep telling, oh, yeah, we're going to run. We're going to run. You run one time, and then as soon as they tackle y'all, you get scared, and you go straight 10 different passes right after that. And it's like, it sucks. Ron Tate, go ahead, please.
Hey, listen, I believe in Pat Shimmer. Shimmer has an offense. I'm going to go over.
You don't trust the run either.
I do trust the run.
But
I
you
think
can't
they're gonna
pass
blow
for
'em out.
500 yards and still run.
Yeah, 150 yards rushing plus 400 yards passing.
Okay.
Do you think they're gonna get the ball enough to be able to do that though?
Sure.
Oh, you think? Oh, the defense has been playing all season. Now let's get that straight. The defense has been balling. It's the
Listen,
offense that's inconsistent.
Nebraska was out 12 times. They had third down. CU defense stopped them 9 times out of 12. They either had a field goal or they had to punt it.
Yeah. No, the
pretty good.
defense is playing, but every single time the ball drops in the middle of that, right behind the D line, the ball drops in that center. Nobody's there, so I don't know what that means. You football guys can help me out, but I don't know what that means.
They're playing man-to-man coverage. That's what it is. They're playing man. That means basically it means that everybody, the line, they're trying to get home with the rush They're not blitzing anybody. They're just playing man-to-man coverage, so that opens up the center of the field because everybody running with their man. That's how Raiola picked up that third down, that 3rd and 10, because they was in man coverage, which means the linebackers and the corners and safeties basically had their back to the quarterback chasing a man.
Right.
It wasn't
Their eyes are
zone.
on that man, the quarterback. Whereas with the zone, you can read the quarterback in the backfield.
And yeah,
Okay, maybe they need to do a little bit more zone. Man is good. It's not bad, but maybe they need to do a little bit more zone because every single time the ball is able to get to that middle of that field, it's like open season, and then they bust it through. So it's like, and they ain't gotta be superheroes. They just gotta do it once or twice and win the game. All right, so Obi, what are you going for? 315 yards Shador. Are you going for over or under?
I think it's going to be under. I think they're going to run the ball again. I really want them to run the ball, and I think they are going to run the ball just because, again, I said Coach Prime, I said he was a bad coach last show just because we haven't seen him really be vocal with the offense. Like he said last year that, last year he just let the coaches kind of do their thing. Then he said he wants to take a more hands-on approach, and we learned that he hasn't been a hand-on approach. He hasn't been really having any say on the offense. But now I think he's going to have more of a say. So I think we're going to see a lot more running. I think Shador is going to be Shador. I think he's going to fall right below 300. But I'll say under.
All right, DC.
Obi.
All right.
Have you seen them run the ball?
It doesn't matter. This is a new season.
No, I said I haven't.
I'm talking these past 2 games you haven't seen them run the ball, so I don't know what makes you believe they're gonna run the ball this game.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
I gave my reason why.
Yeah, just believe what you believe. It's okay.
Yeah, I gave my reason why.
Was it Phil that says every game is a new season? Somebody said every game is a new season, so you don't have to question nobody's thought. It's okay. Whatever you didn't see last game, forget about it. We're moving on to the next game. That's it.
All right. So I will tell you what I believe. There is no way that I believe with everything that I've seen that you have that type of quarterback in Shador who says, I'd rather have the ball in my hand because I can throw the best punch in a news conference, and Travis Hunter. And the only way that CU starts running the ball is if it's Shiloh or Travis Hunter moves to running back this week. No, this will be 300. It will be over all day long. They probably will try to run it just to appease the fans for a second or whatever it is. I don't know. And then be to a point it's not working, because understand, if they get down, they're not going to have a choice. I agree with JB. You have to have a muscle memory to run. You don't just go out there and say, hey, let's start doing this now. It doesn't work that way. And again, I don't think you have a quarterback like Shador and you go, hey, especially after the last game, that you've got a point to prove that you're going to come in here and start turning around and have 5 yards to cloud the dust. I just don't believe it.
Hey, DC,
Yes.
what does CU need to do to win?
CU, I will tell you what, personally for me, I don't think this is a game they run. I think this is a game they slang it. But I think they don't try to he hold the ball and wait for those deep 20-yard plays. I think they wind up doing crossing routes and the short stuff themselves. Take the pass and basically get some motion and dink and dunk down the field. That's what I think they need to do. That gives them time of possession. They're going to score. They got people who can break tackles and shift and that are speedy. I think that's what you do.
I was reviewing my body camera last night, and DC, you have said that they need to run the ball to win. So I'll have to send you a copy of that video.
Hey, can I say something?
I said they need to run the ball to win.
Gary, I'm gonna drop it too. I'm gonna drop them running the ball so you could show it.
Hey, Harry.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
To DC, what DC talking about, I feel like they're gonna have to run the ball this game, for the simple fact we're about to go into conference play. Even though we're playing Baylor, Baylor is a athletic team. The same thing that happened in the Nebraska game, how quick they got back there. Baylor can do the same thing because they have athletes, which can cause us to lose that game against Baylor. So I feel like going into it, we're going to have to try to establish the run a lot more than what we have been doing, just to try to keep Baylor a little bit honest, because like I stated on the show earlier this week, if you don't run the ball, all you got to do is drop 8.
But I believe they can run the ball. I believe they can run. They should run the ball to win. I just don't think they have built it into. I mean, think about it. I'm looking at patterns. You have had mass exodus of running backs. That can be telling. I think they can't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they. I'm not sure if they're capable of running it at the level that they need to run it. But I think they
I
can
would
run
say it
it.
doesn't matter. I would say, I think somebody said it this week. It was either JB or somebody said it on their show that it should not matter if you can or not. I don't think running, it's an option. Like you can't not run the ball. Like you're not running the ball. It's not an option. I can't show that clip.
I know exactly. I know what you're talking about. He was saying he said you can't run the ball even if you don't gain any yards. You cannot just abandon the run because like all right. So running the ball is the attitude, and let's be honest, Colorado doesn't have the attitude to run the ball. Like it's about physicality, and
Preach.
Colorado's not a physical team. So when you run the ball, even though you're not gaining success early on, you might get 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards, back to 2, back to 1. But eventually, if you keep doing it, you're going to break a run, and it's going to open up. So I don't really see. That's why I said that.
Hey, why is it that we can't? I hear a lot of people saying, they can't run the ball. They're not a physical team. But the players that they bought in through the transfer portal come from schools where they run the ball. Indiana runs the ball.
But CU doesn't run the ball.
But the
But they don't
offensive
play for
line
them
is a
teams no
group.
more. They don't play
But
for
the
them teams
offensive
no
line,
more.
the offensive line is the offensive
matter where
line
they
has to
came
work as
from.
a unit. The offensive line has to work as a unit. I can't remember who it was, and they were talking about the offensive line probably don't even have like a block sled where the 5 offensive linemen are hitting the sled at the same time. You want to be able to drive that sled 10 yards, and you want to be able to keep that sled going straight ahead, not veering off left or right. Those are little things that we haven't seen from Colorado. And so just because you're good as an individual, the offensive line is a group, and they have to gel, they have to mesh well when it comes to pass protection, knowing when to pass things off, knowing with the run block. Okay, when am I going to get off of this double team and work my way up to the second level? So I just don't think they've learned to mesh well as a unit yet. Now, once they do later on in the season, maybe we'll see more from the run game. But right now, I just don't think they got the juice.
I would say they just not teaching it.
Yeah,
They have the
they're
players
not interested
to
in
do
it.
So whose fault is that? Because that doesn't sound
That's
like
the
good coaching to me.
coaches.
It's
That's
coaching.
coaching.
We're not gonna.
That don't sound like good coaching to me.
Stop.
It doesn't.
Yo,
It's not that
Phil is
we're
on a mission today.
we're constantly talking about the players. They don't have the heart, they don't have the skill, or they don't have the size. I'm telling you, it is the scheme. Now
telling you.
Schumer, Pat Schumer, the school that he left when he coached another college, and he had an offense that had 2 running backs in the backfield in their running scheme. So he has an offense incorporated in his playbook where running is part of it. I don't know why it has not been incorporated. I'm gonna say this, that the little genie told me that, oh yeah, they were waiting for the Big 12 play before they break out their running. So I don't know whether that's true or not. I hope not, because you need to experience some of those things in a game situation. But running the ball does not mean you have to run in the A and B gap. You can run off tackle. You can run jet sweeps. You can run a reverse. I mean, there are different schemes that can be used. You can run a trap play where you can unleash Jordan Seaton on one of those guys on the defensive end, or turn around the tackle and turn up on a linebacker, or send Benson, or send Tyler Brown. There are different ways you can run the ball. It does not have to be a dive play and a cloud of dust.
Well, let me ask you this then, Ron.
Can I
If
tell
the
y'all guys
scheme,
something?
oh, go ahead, see, go ahead, bro.
DC, I'm pretty sure you would agree with this right here.
Oh,
And
please don't agree with DC. Please don't.
No. I'm a Colorado fan inside and out. This is what I think, man. We as a team will be far much better when Travis and Shedeur leaves and goes off to the NFL.
Oh, now you're
Because-
Harry been
now
saying
you're
that.
saying what I've been saying.
because then we can operate. You don't have these 2 mega powers that you have to feed. We can then begin to
Built a
compete
team.
as a whole team. all 11. See, this is the problem. When we get in a tight spot, oh, Travis and Shador can get us out versus, oh man, let's come together. Let
It's the
all
LeBron
11 of
syndrome.
us get us out. You see? So this is the backside of having megastars on your team.
That sounds
I
a lot
agree.
like something that sounds a lot like something that starts with D and ends in L, and I'll leave it at that.
Wait, what?
Daddy
Pause, Negro.
balls.
Yeah.
Daddy
No,
balls.
no. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I'm gonna say
No.
Hold up, Phil.
when
What
I
you
know.
you
I get
saying?
your point. They're
yeah,
relying too much on their
two,
star players. I get
Yeah,
your
they're
point.
leaning.
I'm
They're
just being
leaning
silly
on
at
them.
this
That's not
point.
but
daddy
at the
ball.
end of the day,
It was a joke, guys. It was a
when
joke,
you
guys. I'm
have
sorry.
two stars like that, when you have
I
two
ain't no
stars
joke.
like
That's
that,
D
real
and
you
the
deal.
kind of
L.
almost got to depend on it. That's the problem of having big stars like that, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You
but
become too dependent upon them.
I
I want a
agree.
team with
I
no
I
agree.
agree
stars.
with that.
I want
I
a bunch
agree.
of Ryan Staubs, a bunch of no names. That way we can
But
just get back to basic football.
I don't
Listen,
know about that, Harry.
I
would
don't know
like
about
for
that
the
one. I don't know
I
about
don't
that one.
agree
I
with
know,
that.
but that's how I feel.
You
all right,
don't
let
want
me
to be
ask you
so
a
top
question.
heavy.
a
You don't want to
true
be so
running.
top heavy.
All right, let me
So
ask
So
you.
we
true
can talk
running
about
game.
we can analyze, we can talk about the running game as much as we want to, but until that last game of this season, you won't see a running game until next year, guys. I'm gonna just be honest. Right now, we
I
got a
agree.
we got a 500, 250, 300,000, $300 million arm, and then another mega million start on the outside. You got to bend to that, guys. That's just what it
Yeah.
is.
I
All
mean,
right,
and
guys,
then he's right.
let's get to this other category, please. DC, go
All
ahead.
right. All right. I got just two more. All right. The quarterback for CSU, Nicolosi, they have him at 256.5 yards, the over or under. So, do you think the CSU QB will throw for over or under 256.5 yards?
I'd
Under.
All right, we're
say
gonna start with Obi, please.
I'll say under. I think our defense is getting better and better. Again, yeah, they're a second half defense, but I think they're going to play with a little bit more motivation this week. I like our DBs compared to their receivers. I know Torrey may be playing, but I think he's still like injured, so he may not be his full strength. So I'll say he's under.
All right, that's gonna be Ron Tate.
Under 2 interceptions.
What is that? Over or under? I don't know what that means.
Under
Under.
with 2 interceptions.
Under with 200. Okay. Phil So Real. Oh, but hold up. Who do you think are gonna catch those interceptions? Travis or who?
Who do I think is going to catch? Oh my gosh, you've got 4 guys back there that are capable.
Now put your name on it. Who gonna catch him? Say it.
Yeah.
Hodges and Travis.
Hodge and Travis. Okay. Phil So Real. Over or under 256.5. For
Oh, I can't
Nicolosi,
put.
CSU.
I was gonna say push, but I can't push. I'm gonna go under.
he put in a real bet.
Cape Con, do you think CU's defense is gonna step up and get this guy under or over?
definitely think they'll step up. Look at the adjustments. The coordinator may be his first year in college, but he's got good eye. He thinks a lot. So I say under, but I say multiple 3 and outs. That's all I say.
All right,
So
Tim
in other
Smith.
words, I'm betting on them to stop the run. That's what I'm saying.
You're betting on them to stop the run. I see what you're doing there. All right, CSU, Tim Smith, CSU, QB, 256.5, over or under?
I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna go with Ron, 2 interceptions. I'm gonna go Travis and Silman Craig.
All right, JD, over or under 256.5.
I'm gonna go under for the reasons I think that they're gonna control the clock and run the ball, so they're gonna throw it when they need to, not when they have to and need to. So
DC, is this passing or is this just his numbers?
This passing, and I'm going
Okay.
under. Same reason.
Okay, see you, Buff Dynasty. Are you there? Over or under?
Yes, sir. I got the defense coming out, starting fast. I got under.
Under 256. All right. Is before we do the last category, is Coach Prime? Let's go to Coach Prime and Norvell. Who's a better coach?
Don't do that, Harry. Don't
I'm
do that.
doing it.
I'm
going
not
in.
answering it.
I'm doing it. CU Buff Dynasty.
You
Who's
want me
the
to go
better?
first? I'll answer
CU
that one.
Buff Dynasty. Who's the better coach?
Come
Norvell
on, man.
or Prime?
Come on, man. Don't even. Come on, bro.
I'm doing it. Put your
Prime.
Prime. Okay.
Prime.
Tell me the reason why. Well, who's going to manage the game better? Prime or tell me why you think Prime would be better in this game? Who's going to manage the game better? Who you think?
Prime. He's
And,
gonna.
and let's watch for this during the game. Let's watch for who's getting out coached during the game. All right. Let's see. This is not feelings. Get your feelings out of it now. We can talk football now. All right. Let's talk some real football around here and get out of our feelings. You think Prime is going to manage this game better? He couldn't call a timeout in the last 22 seconds now. Keep that in mind.
Yes, he will. He will
Okay,
learn
good.
from his mistakes.
JD, I can almost know. I almost know what you're about to say. Who manages this game better, JD? Prime or what's the name? Or Norvell?
Jay.
Man, you asking me?
I said JD. That's the name that's on my screen, bro.
Man, why you do this to me, man?
I know.
It's a safe space. Speak your truth, man. Speak your
It's
truth.
true.
We
Let it
go
out.
the church music. Yeah, we go the church music. Ding.
I'm a Robert Norvell, man.
I know this is hard for a lot of people right now. I understand. I know why. Let me bring CSB Leo back on the channel. We were going backwards, so I'm gonna come back to you, CSB Leo. Tim, who manages this game better? Better coaching, Prime or Norvell? And you can include the whole staff. Prime staff or Norvell staff?
I'm gonna say after the last two games and the criticism that he didn't receive, there's a little smoke. So I feel like he's gonna bounce back from that, and I think that Prime will manage and his staff will manage the game better than CSU, just because he don't want come Monday people to start throwing their gasoline cans on it.
All right. I mean, there's also a caveat. Prime can do really well, manage this game, and still lose, and I would still be on his side. I think that would give me a little bit of faith. Like, okay, Prime showed up today, and even if they lose, I would be like, yeah, at least I feel better.
As you should, Harry. As you should.
But that's all I've been asking. That's all I've been asking for. Just show up. If you show up, I'm fine with the results. Cape Con, who's managing this game better? Coach Prime staff or Coach Prime or Norvell and his staff?
Look, I'm rolling with Prime. Only reason is I'm reading body language and the urgency. They have to respond. This is a must win. They're gonna come out. It won't be easy, but they'll manage the game better.
Okay. All right, Phil So Real. Who's managing this game better? Prime and his staff or Norvell and his staff? Be easy, please.
I'm gonna say Jay Norvell and his staff because they're going to need to coach a perfect game to be able to win this game. So Jay Norvell will do a better job of coaching.
That's a leg up to Prime and his crew. Okay, I see what you did there. I see what you're doing there.
and I think they'd be more disciplined. I think
right. I still think Colorado will win the game, but I think Jay Norvell will have to be on his P's and Q's. Whereas with Colorado, Deion won't because he has the better talent.
Okay, I see what you're doing now. You're trying to stay out of trouble, but also speak your mind. I see you, man. You're a smart man, right?
I mean, but my point is though, unfortunately, Jay Norvell can coach his team up when they don't have the same level of talent to be able to beat a team better than them. I just don't think Deion can do that. But that's for another day.
Exactly. Ron Tate, who coaches this game better? Who's going to manage their team better? Deion and his crew or Norvell and his crew?
I was thinking that Jay Norvell does a lot more with a lot less compared with the two programs. And however, I think about a coach that promotes dirty play versus a coach that wants to teach you life experiences.
I don't care how you get it. A win is a win.
Well,
we're not in church on the field, bro.
This is my perception. Coach Prime.
Yeah, man. I mean, dirty plays or not and all of that. I mean, I'm with it. I'm with the clean plays, but you got to do what you got to do. Whether you play chippy or not, they go away from the win. They go away and say, okay, this guy really coached his team up and they won. They'll remember the Travis thing, but there was a lot more dirty stuff happening in that game. I think somebody got ejected. That Liberian guy got ejected, right?
Yeah.
The Liberian guy. Did he go to the NFL? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, he went to the NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kamara.
he was number 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kamara.
Kamara.
A
Yep.
beast. I hope he does well this year.
I'm watching Xavier Weaver. He was hurt last game. That's why you didn't see him suit up. So I'm watching him. I'm keeping track of him. Anytime he does anything, he catches the ball or he does anything, I'll bring it to you guys. Obi, who manages this game better? Who coaches this game better? Prime and his crew or Norvell and their crew?
It's easy. Norvell is easy. Coach Prime just hasn't proved that
how you feel without telling me how you feel.
Yeah, he just hasn't proved. Like, I know that last game, but he's done that all last year. Did that at Jackson State. Norvell, they almost beat CU last year. Like, they were really close. And so
I think we were playing for behind almost half of the game.
Yeah, so like they were really close. So like now it's like, again, this is their Super Bowl. Like, if they lose every other game, that's fine. But if they win this, it means so much to them. So they're not going to make like the same mistake they did last time. So
CU was down 8 points with like 2 minutes to go, and then Shador did that heroic thing where Jimmy Horn made that score. So I'm going to put this on the. I'm just going to say this. If CU comes out and start playing from behind, they're going to lose this game. They cannot play from behind. CSB Leo, before I go to DC, and then he can give us his thoughts, and then he'll give us the last comment. So CSB Leo, who coaches this game up better than for their team? Prime or Norvell?
Prime.
Tell me your reasons, please.
So we're talking about coaching staffs, right?
Coaching, it could be just Prime and his staff. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what I like about what we've seen over the first 2 games is that Rob Livingston can coach.
Yeah, he's been the better part of that whole team.
Correct. So as long as in this game, Rob Livingston continues to help the defense get better, it's going to provide the offense time to figure out their identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Preach.
in this game, right? Because the to me, the offense hasn't figured out what they want to be. Now, what they've come out and demonstrated is that they want to be a high-power offense with no balance, but that's not going to work. Not only in the first 2 games, I mean, it worked against NDSU somewhat, but that was just a mismatch in terms of athletes. I think Prime now understands, after the Nebraska game, that his honeymoon is over, right? Like, he's not going to get any slack, right? And I think whatever constraints he had put on Pat Shurmur in order to deliver an offense that was a highlight a minute, some of that he knows he can't do that, right? So I think the experience in Nebraska was not only good for the team and the players to be able to work through adversity, but it was good for Prime to see that the honeymoon is over and the expectation is that he needs to change as a coach. So I'm expecting that we see a different kind of offense, but I'm relying more on the defense until the offense figures it out.
All right, guys. So on your screen, I am showing Common Sense Buff's page. Right now, I see about 146 subscribers, guys, and we got about 70-some people watching right now. Please, if you can, go to Common Sense Buff's YouTube page, guys, and subscribe. Please, I appreciate you just supporting my man that was just speaking. All right, guys, thank you very much. Let's turn our attention now to DC. DC, give us your thoughts on the coaching, and then give us the last category.
Okay, let's give you the last category.
Not the last category first. Give us your who coaches this better.
You breaking up, bro. Let's just go ahead and get to the last category.
Here we go. Here we go, DC. Running away. Don't be running away, DC. Don't be running away, DC.
No, DC, tell us how you really feel.
Running away now.
I didn't know you was a political candidate, man.
It's still a betting line. It's still a betting line. If you were betting, who would you have your money on? Let me ease it up for you. Who would you have your money on if you were betting?
Harry, they're eating pets.
Come on, DC. Come on, man.
All right. All
DC.
right.
What's the final? What's the second category? Let's go.
No, I honestly, I think that, be honest with you, I think Coach Prime has some things on his staff that's phenomenal, but I also think Jay Norvell, like Ron says, does more with less. So I can't really sit here and say that I'm going to say Coach. I will tell you this: I think Prime has a coach mindset and he understands things, but I think Jay Norvell manages the game better, if that helps. So we'll just go with that.
So game management, Jay Norvell may be a better game manager.
Yes. I think because I just think he's done some things that have shown, make some adjustment. I agree, dirty play is not good. But at the end of the day, I do see Prime having to still work on that game management stuff. Because we've seen,
if you're too nice, then stay off the field, bro. Because you gotta put your men in the position to win. So you gotta do whatever you gotta do that are within the rules.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give this last one. It's gonna be a twofer.
Okay.
One being Travis Hunter, 98.5 yards over or under. So basically, the first part of it is, does Travis Hunter have over or under 98.5 yards? But with that said, who scores more TDs, Horton or Hunter?
Is Horton on our team? You talking about Horton for us?
Horton for CSU.
CSU.
Number 14.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I got Trav over 98. And I can't take either one of them on the touchdowns.
Believe it on this, CU Buffs.
Yes,
they
sir.
got the odds for Horton are better than Hunter's.
Yeah.
But we know why. We know why.
I don't think either one of them gonna score this game, to be honest. That's why I'm kind of hard on that second end of the question. I don't see either one of them scoring, but I'm gonna go Trav with the over and Trav with the over on this scoring touchdowns.
So triple
Horton,
cross or whatever
Horton
says about the injury. What about Horton's injury?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Horton is dealing with a groin, so we don't even know how effective he's going to be.
He might not even finish the game.
Yeah, he may just be a decoy. We don't you know what I'm saying? Because the groin is something hard to deal with, like Jimmy Horn had to deal with last year.
So
fever.
Yeah.
Horton is not playing. It's confirmed. Seeking God Films.
Yep.
Okay, so Horton's not playing. So that we can scratch that. We can say over under Travis 98.5. CSB Leo, Travis over or under 98.5. Over or under.
Yeah, I have him over 98, but I want to see most of those yards after the catch, and I need to see Travis with 7 or less targets. We have too many weapons.
True.
To be focused only on Travis.
We're not distributing the ball to. We're overly reliant. Now, I mean, you can see why, because he's an outstanding wide receiver. But again, this goes back to balance, right? We don't just need balance in pass and run. We need balance in terms of spreading the ball out among all our weapons. I like him for the over. I don't really have a sense on who's going to score more touchdowns, but I like him.
All right, see you, Buff Dynasty. What was your over or under, and then tell me your reason why. Try to keep it on 30 seconds, guys.
I was over on Travis. 98? I got him going over. He will be one of the main targets this game. Plus, being that he went out last game, I'm pretty sure the ball's going to come to him a little more just to get some type of revenge and get back. But Torrey Horton is not playing.
It's been confirmed. Well, Seeking God Film says he's confirmed that he's not playing this game.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
So
and
that's
I'm out
what I
here
was about
looking.
to say. he gets up there and make that little interview and make those comments, and he's not going to play.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, it said he was doubtful to now.
Okay.
He was hopeful at it. So I don't think he plays the whole game, but I think you still may have him in there. I think he may.
Yeah.
I think he will play, but he might not. But I mean, if somebody got something else, please post it. I'll go look it. I'm just looking right now when he said
Yeah,
it, and I don't see anything.
Shy Ski is saying that Horton is playing. There's just misinformation going on. This is not a Donald Trump rally, guys. Come on, let's get this information correct so that we.
Hey, come on, man. Get off of Donald Trump, bro. Leave Donald Trump alone, bro. Leave Donald Trump alone, bro.
All right, we'll leave Donald Trump alone. But come on, can we just get the information correct? All right, can we fact check this information on live? Like, please. JD, I'm leaving Donald Trump alone. Okay. Don't just hide your pets, okay? JD.
Trav, definitely. You know he the number one target, so by far. So definitely over. Touchdown.
Over.
Yeah, over and over. He scores. I think he scores.
Hey, and I know this is political, but let me just put this out there. Me personally, it's not that I don't believe that the situation with the pets is not happening, but I believe the messenger is so flawed and he's not using it for the right reasons. I just believe that he's using it for political gain because there are implications to his words. It's not just like just spew things out of your mouth for political gains, because there are human beings that are behind what you're saying. So they're not just bringing, and Haitians don't cross the border like the Mexicans. Haitians are brought over, through the right channels of immigration. So he's trying to tie it all together. They're just coming over and they're eating your pets. I believe there is some truth in that, but the messenger needs to get his message together and care about the people that are attached to what he's saying, and not just say it for political gain so that he can get votes. I think if he cared more and he used it correctly, I think he would get more. It'll be more effective than just saying it, because he sounds crazy. As crazy as it sounds crazy, but I feel like he needs to care for people more than just try to use everything he gets for political gain. And that's where I stand for it.
Hey, Harry,
yeah.
That's the same thing that his psychologist told him. He didn't listen to him. His psych evaluator told him the same thing.
Care for people. Like, you got to care for people. If you don't care and you don't think that there's people behind your message and you're just going to say it for political gain, that's where I stand personally. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just wanted to let y'all know that's where I stand. It's not that I don't believe this guy. I just feel like his intentions are just not in the right place. And at the end of the day, I care for people, whether I agree with them politically or not, or they vote for Kamala or not. I just want you to care for people. That's where my heart is, for the people. Haitians they're gonna be affected by what he's saying. You feel me? All right, Tim. Over or under 98.5, over or under, Travis.
Yeah, we'll vote on that in November. But I'm gonna go with right now we're gonna vote on this.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the over for the simple fact
They're not gonna run.
Travis then went for no, they're gonna run. I feel like they're gonna rush for over 100 yards. They're
gonna get 50 yards, if that.
But I think he's gonna go over because he didn't already. He didn't win 2 games. He didn't win 2 games for over 100. Plus the body language. His body language says a lot to me that he's very focused and on this year.
Hey, Coach Prime, if you're listening, we don't trust you. We're going to put it out there. We do not trust you, Coach Prime. If you don't run this ball, we don't trust you. That's it. I don't trust you, Coach Prime. Run the ball. That's it. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just run the ball. If you say you're going to run the ball, then run the ball. Show me that you can run the ball. But I don't trust you otherwise. That's it. Not that I don't trust you as a human being and a man. I don't love you. I just don't trust what's coming out of your mouth when you say you're going to run the ball. That's it. All right, Cape Con. What are your thoughts, over or under, when it comes to Travis Hunter, 98.5 yards?
It's going to be over. I agree with the last gentleman over there. Travis Hunter, even the last game, he was very frustrated, but his passion for this year, he's locked in, guys. He's not taking no, and he's got something to prove against this CSU team, because them taking him out was a sign that they feared us. Because remember, we had more skill than anything else last year. That's my reasoning. So he's going to be over, and the snap count's going to be higher. If if they do what I think they're doing. Just to quell you down, we do trust Coach Prime's words, and they will run the ball.
I
Oh,
just
but
want to point out real
But he
quick, just
said it
in
several
between.
times. It's not like I'm just like, oh, I
Yeah,
haven't
no,
heard him
I
say it.
get you.
I don't trust him. I'm coming out and saying I don't trust you, Coach Prime. I do not trust a word coming out of your mouth when as it pertains to you saying you're going to run the ball. I don't trust you anymore.
But
That's
can I
it.
just say this? Can I
Hey,
point
Coach
this out?
Prime, I trust you, Coach Prime. This see
But,
you buff
I
Dynasty,
will
bro.
we trust. They're gonna run the ball, man. They got no
but can I
choice. They
right? Can
gotta
I
beat
just
that
say
number.
this though?
They got-
I think it's amazing that we don't try to run the ball, but we try a 61-yard field goal.
Hmm.
I mean, come on, folks.
It's crazy.
That
I
was
was disappointed in that.
amazing to
I
sit
was
there and say,
disappointed in
I'm
that. I
not
was
going to
for
run the
sure.
ball, but I'm going to try a 61-yard field goal
With an
in the
improvement
game.
guy.
Yeah, so
Per bananas.
so at the end of the day is if it doesn't happen this game, I think we have to put this pet to bed and hopefully nobody eats it.
No, I'm telling you, if Coach Prime and his staff does not come out and run that ball and they lose this game, what y'all are hearing me telling him? When I'm saying I don't trust you, Coach Prime, I'm literally poking at him. That's what I'm doing. I'm poking at him. Run the ball, Prime. That's it. I don't care if it doesn't work. Don't tell me, oh, it couldn't work. We only took what the defense gave us. Give it back. If they give it to you, give it back to them. If the defense is giving you something, don't accept it. Leave it. If somebody's giving my child candy, I tell them don't take candy from a stranger. Don't take whatever the defense is giving you. Run the ball at all costs. I don't care if you get negative yards. If y'all end up getting 1,000 yards rushing negative, run it regardless. Let your running backs know that you like them, that you care for them. That's it.
Harry, you know he's
So-
listening.
I hope he's listening. But that's why I'm saying, Coach Prime, I don't trust a word coming out of your mouth when you say you're going to run the ball because you haven't.
Hey, listen, guys.
Are you saying he's a liar?
When I'm running my offense, I'm gonna say this right here. When I'm running my offense on the level that I am, the defense can't give me nothing. I take what I want. I don't understand that. I don't understand that mentality. I take what I
We
want.
took what the defense gave us.
I force the defense to do what I want them to do per
That's
what
what
I'm
Joe,
doing.
That's what Joe Clack
It's called
was
imposing
talking
your
about.
will, guys.
But
have to
if
impose
CU
our
built
will.
for that though. But can
We
It
are.
doesn't
CU
matter. That's
impose
where
their will?
schemes come in.
It's
It
the
doesn't
scheme
matter.
thing.
Yeah.
It's the scheme
No.
thing.
We're not talking about scheme. I'm talking about line up straight up, man, mano a mano. Can CU impose their will on somebody?
You
don't
cannot
have
I
to.
do
don't
that.
know.
You don't have to impose your will.
You
Yes.
can't.
It's
You
not
can't
about just
do that.
imposing your will, because if you impose the idea of imposing your will is if you're stronger than them. You see what I'm saying? If you're stronger and bigger than them and you're faster than them, you don't have to impose your will. What you have to do is have a game plan and execute your game plan. And that game plan has to include running the ball creatively. You have to run the ball creatively. It's not all about just imposing your will, because you may not be able to impose your will. You
This
got to
ain't
be
But on
rugby.
fourth and one, do you have to impose your will to get that 1 yard?
Hey,
You
sometimes
do, but you don't necessarily
Oh
have
yeah, you
to.
got you good. That front
space it out,
nine
man.
better be moving some. They better be moving some people
At
over
a
there.
certain point, the offensive line has to make somebody on the defensive line move backwards.
Yes,
Point blank. Period.
they better
Hey,
push
I would
somebody
say
out the
this,
way.
Bill.
They have though. They've
Hey,
done that in
Bill, I
Nebraska.
would say this to you. Last season when we played CSU, they did, when they were in the red zone on the goal line, they couldn't do nothing. But somebody had enough common sense to run a sweep to with Xavier Weaver to get into the end zone. So they were creative on that standpoint. But now it seems
Hey, guys,
like
keep talking. I have to take this call.
they don't want to do
So,
nothing.
Sean
so
Lewis is
Sean
way
Lewis.
better. Sean
Oh,
Lewis is
okay.
way
So
better.
they had some good coaching last year on offense. What it sound like.
Hey,
he's
we
talking
talked
about one
about that
play.
Tuesday. I agree.
you right, Ron. Just one play.
What I'm
Hey,
saying,
listen,
what I'm
but
basically
I
saying is,
want to say this. I want to say this, that they have a running. The offensive coordinator that they have now have put in place a running program for a college team before. He's done that, and he's been successful with running the football. I just hope that he's going to incorporate that at Colorado this year.
What college did
Was he?
Shermer coach at before he came to Colorado? Because I was under the
What
impression he
was
came
it?
straight from
Was
the
it
NFL.
Wyoming or Wisconsin or one
It
of
was
the
like Wisconsin. Oh no, Wyoming or something like
Hey,
that.
hey,
But
Ron, let me ask you a question real quick.
yes.
With what you just stated with Pat Shermer, do you feel like Coach Prime is standing in the way of him being
Are we still
great
here?
at? Yeah,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes.
All
I
right, go
can
ahead.
Do you feel like Coach Prime is standing in the way of him being a great offensive coordinator?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Sure. The offensive scheme that Schumer is using at CU, he's done it. He's in.
But the
God,
answer
what I
is
want to
yes.
say.
The answer is
He's
yes. Pat,
he's put in a running program at another college before and have been successful at it. So,
so
and Tim asked me if I think Coach Prime is in the way of him doing the same at CU.
Well, yeah, duh. It was the same thing that happened with Sean Lewis.
Harry,
bro, if you look
calm
at
down.
Pat Shermer's offenses, right? Even with the Vikings, he had Kyle Rudolph. That was a good All-Pro, Pro Bowl tight end. Like that, the offense that he ran in Minnesota when he was with the Vikings is not the offense you see at CU. They used running backs. They had tight ends. They had double tight ends. Like this offense is not Pat Shermer's true offense. Like you haven't really seen his true offense
Right.
because like this is not it, especially not 4 or 5 wide. Pat Shermer's never really ran a 4 or 5 wide.
So Ron Ted, are you saying that I'm
So
wrong?
why
for
would you
saying-
have an OC running an offense that's not theirs? That doesn't make sense to me.
But that's the whole thing. That's why somebody just asked that question. Is Coach Prime standing in the way of Pat Shermer's offense? And it is, because think about it. If y'all been following Prime since Jackson State, this is his 4th core offensive coordinator in 4 years. Every year he has a brand new coordinator. Ever since he started the spring season at Jackson State, he replaced a new OC every year. The offense, he had to change offenses every year. If you think I'm lying, go look it up. He fired T.C. Taylor. He brought in Brett Aloney. Then he hired Sean Lewis. Then now it's Pat Shermer. Like this is a repeated. He's not going to get into a rhythm because he keeps firing OCs. Like y'all have to understand that.
Well, the answer to my question, to your question, Tim, is I'll answer it after this game.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we are afraid to say, because we like Prime. Listen,
I want to so badly believe that he's going to allow Coach Shermer to install the running program for this team. I so much hope that, so that him and Harry can be back in good graces with one another.
I mean, I like Prime, but I don't trust when he says I'm going to run the ball, because how many times is somebody going to tell you they're going to do something and they don't do it, and for you to be like, oh yeah, I think he's going to do it this time.
You know, there are two things that bothers me. Number one, with Shedeur, I really believe that Coach Prime gets in the way of trying to control his future. Shedeur's future is set. He has enough in the archives for NFL teams to evaluate him. He also has the NFL Combine. Number two, Travis Hunter. He has enough in the archives for NFL teams to evaluate. And then also you have the Combine to come up. He does. Hey, let it go. Leave him alone. Let him play.
Facts.
You know, 11 or 11.
Facts.
You know, that's what I'm saying in my heart, but I'm really not saying that to you guys. I don't want you all to hear
it's not just
any
about
of that.
Shedeur, it's about his legacy too.
But in my heart, that's what I believe.
No, it's about, but I agree with what you're saying, but you got to think about it in this aspect too. It's his legacy as well. We all think about that. Like Coach Prime has, he's one of the best NFL players in the hold on guys. He's one of the best NFL players ever, and now he has 2 sons who he's going to send to the NFL, and one of his son can go first round. So he's doing everything and anything to make sure that happens, because that's part of his legacy.
No, you're hurting your legacy.
But
the legacy
he
that
doesn't see
trying
it
to
that way. He
build-
feels like he's helping his legacy by trying to make
Well,
sure that he goes
someone
high.
needs to, somebody's got to pull on his coattail and say, leave that alone. That's already set. He should be working on the legacy that he wants to build at CU.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
not, I
he
don't think
wants-
that's the priority
Who
right
on
now.
that staff do you trust to pull him in and to kind of give him that message?
Hart.
Sap,
Sap,
Nobody.
Sap or
Hart,
D.
Sap
Lou.
on-
Nobody.
Sap will not keep
It
quiet.
would
for
have
Well,
been.
I
It
said
would have
Bucky,
been.
bro.
It would have been done already. Nobody. I don't believe that there's
Well,
anybody. He won't
Bucky-
listen. That's for
It gotta
sure.
be family.
Bucky did say that he had a talk with him the
Yeah,
other
he
day
had a
when
one-on-one with him.
was on
Talk to him for real.
And
Matt
you trust
McChesney's show.
anything
He
coming
did
out
say
of
he
you
kind of
trust
pulled him
anything
to
they're
the.
saying? I don't trust anything. I don't trust it. I
That
trust
means
nothing
nothing
right
to
now.
me.
I can't go that far, Harry. I can't go that far.
But they
Look
tell
at
you,
you,
they told you the
Kensington,
same
Harry.
thing
He
last
had a
year.
talk. He said
Do
he
you
had
know?
a
Do
real
you
talk
remember
with
the
Coach
video?
Prime.
Do you remember? I don't know which game it was. Do you remember the game where the next video that Bucky put out, it says we have to run the ball? You remember that video?
Yeah.
The title of the video says we have to run the ball. And then Coach Prime says we got to find a way to run the ball, and we got to find a way to put Dylan Edwards in space so that he can run the ball. They keep saying the same thing, but then once the rubber hits the road, guess what? They revert back to everything Shedeur and Travis. So again, show me, right? You guys see the thumbnail? It says show me. I'm tired of the spins. Like I don't care about spin no more. Now show me. And I don't care
Can
what
I ask a
anybody
question,
thinks.
Harry? Guys, I've got a quick question. Did you see how Shadeur's response triggers a lot of Dion's reaction as well? Don't you think Shedeur has a part to play in the way the offense is run? He's not happy if the ball's been run too much. I don't trust that Shedeur is quiet and just accepts Daddy taking it. I think Shedeur pushes the narrative behind the Daddy's back because he's the Heisman candidate, NFL prospect, etc. So Pat Shermer is under pressure to also listen to what Shedeur wants, and he wants to throw.
But Cape, you
But-
know that the offense is ran through Shedeur, right? You know that's how they do it, right? Pat
Yeah.
Shermer gives Shedeur 3 plays, or I don't know how many plays. Shedeur, Prime trusts Shedeur so much that Shedeur runs the offense. They say, here, give us, since you're so astute on defense, reading defenses, here are the 3 plays that we want you to run on this, based on this. Whatever you see, you decide. That's why in his thing, he was throwing from side to side, right? And Prime
and
was
Harry,
like, why are you throwing the ball? Because
that
Shedeur has the right to do whatever he wants, what he sees.
Hey, I want to say
I
something real
think that's
quick.
the problem right there.
I seen the CU coaches meeting yesterday where they had interviewed all the coaches and they interviewed Pat Shermer and they asked him about the run game, and I agreed like it's gonna be hard. I don't think it's gonna be hard, but I just feel as though it's like he wants to. I feel as though in Pat Shermer's heart, he wants to have a more balanced offense. But him just looking at his body language, you can tell he's so frustrated about the run game because I feel like he wants to, but I don't think he's really like not allowed to, but like it's basically allowed to, because even if he do cause a run, you can tell Shedeur sometimes walk up to the line and checks out of the run. So
What was his answer about the run? What was his
he was
answer
just like
about the run?
he was just like, well, we're trying to figure out the run game and get the guys in there that we need to get in there. Da, 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 da. And it's like, and then he was like, sometimes gets checked out of, like, I don't know if I can, like, y'all would have to go back and find it on YouTube. The coaches
hey, but listen,
interview
did
yesterday.
Yeah, the coach's corner joint.
Coach's
Yeah, I
corner,
seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Shedeur say in his last interview that we need to run the ball. We need to run the ball more. Running the ball helps the line. Running the ball helps the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the passing game helps the running game. Then he said that.
No, but then he says, but if we're not good at it, then why would we do it?
Yeah, this is so confusing.
That's what
So
he said.
confusing,
He
man.
said,
They
if we're
saying-
not good at it, he said,
really
but if
is.
we're not good at it, if your team is not good at it, why would you continue to do that?
No, if you sincerely attempt to run the ball, let me see your running program out there.
They don't have one, bro.
Not dive left, dive right, dive right, dive left. That's not a running scheme.
They don't have
at any level.
Hey, Ron Tate.
Yes, sir.
When you see Shedeur, let me just ask you this one question. Please, honest. Anybody can answer this after Ron. When you see Shedeur handing the ball off, lackadaisically, do you believe they have a run-first mindset?
No, not at all.
Absolutely
And,
not.
and that,
No.
and you know,
No,
and that's
no.
piss poor coaching, because I would make his ass go through a fake instead of watching the run it, turning around and watching the running back run after you handing the ball off. You know, they do that in the NFL. They don't do that in the NFL. They carry out fakes.
Right. You
know,
gotta
they-
hide
they-
that
they're
ball.
setting
Shador
up
throws the
something
ball.
else with that. So I think there's some bad habits that he needs to get rid of, because and we have to understand he's still a young kid. I mean, but we're
He's
looking
a-
at him because
He's
of
a
how
senior,
great
though. He
his
ain't that
talent
young.
is.
Come on now. Let's not
Hey
do
guys,
that.
guys,
The dude's been
listen.
playing for 4 years.
Shador-
Like, he's not a little kid no more, man.
Right.
Well, okay.
Shador is coming to the line, and he's checking out of every black gummit run plays called. That's just what it is, guys. Let's look
It's
at this
not
thing
all
real
the time.
I
business.
I
mean,
wish I
we
could show
can
y'all
assume
footage
that.
because like some of y'all just wrong.
Let's look at it.
We can assume that. We're
I'm
making
not
an
saying
assumption
all-
on that.
From what I've seen, I can tell he's not run first. My problem is, who's the coach, who's the player? If you look at, he wants to model his game against Tom Brady. What was Tom Brady known for? More than anything.
Passing?
Reading defense, checking out.
No. Checking out, reading defense, right? But before he got that, when Tom Brady used to start, before he got that experience, what was he doing? Running the ball. Look at his first year. He always had a guy in the backfield, or you'd
Are you
run up
saying that's what he needs
run.
to take? Or are you saying he's doing that?
I'm saying he's trying to emulate that.
But he's not running the ball.
No, I'm talking about in terms of the checking out of plays and reading defense. He's trying to.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's seen a lot of football, but not at the level you should. He hasn't reached that kind of intellectual mindset. I think follow a scheme first 15 plays. If it doesn't go well, then look at adjusting. You can't adjust from step 1 or step 20.
Bro, and listen, let me say this. The people, myself included, the people that are saying this stuff are the biggest Buff fans ever, bro. Like, we are the defenders of the front line.
I love Prime. I love the.
I'm telling you, we defend
saying,
Prime
there's
to
nuances
the death. I'm telling you. But now we get tired of the every single game. We're gonna run, and then as soon as we get into trouble, we abandon the run. We run the ball twice, and then that's it.
It's getting hard, Harry. It's getting hard to defend, Bo.
That's what I'm saying. That's my
I
video.
said
That was
this
my
to
video
somebody the
yesterday.
other
It's
day,
just
like,
getting
come
why
on,
does
man.
it? Why does it matter if you're a fan of him or not? I mean, I feel like you don't have to be a fan to just say what you see.
No, because you're battling other fans. That's why. You're not. It's not about Prime. It's about the perception of other fans.
The
They
cult
don't.
numbers. The
You know what I'm
cult
saying?
numbers.
That's what it's all about. It's like we're dealing with other people that don't see it the way that football is supposed to be played. They're just saying, "Oh, Coach Prime has a gold jacket. Why don't y'all don't trust Coach Prime? If Coach Prime has a gold jacket, why y'all don't think he knows what he's doing?" It's like, yeah, we get it, but there are other gold jackets that are saying that he needs to spread out the offense, that he needs to bring Shador up center. Oh, and let me ask you this question. And then we'll finish on this note. Coach Prime, I don't know if it was Hart or whoever was asked. This said, hey, somebody asked him. I wish I had an interview. I pulled it up, but I don't have it. This said, what did y'all talk about this week? And somebody was like, hey, and he was like, well, we talked about, Coach Prime just said that while we on first down, why are we having Shador in the shotgun and not bringing him to down center, because we're starting 7 yards behind or 10 yards behind, and he's not, and we only trying to get 1 yard. So we're already losing yards, but just trying to get back to the scrimmage line. So with that being said, right, either Coach Prime is being too nice with his coaching staff, because when I see Jay Norvell and I see Dan Lanning and I see Kenny Dillingham with the Arizona Arizona, right? Those guys, their microphone is not pointed up, right? Their microphones are pointed down. The only way you can hear in Nebraska is if somebody's talking, your microphone is not like this, right? You guys can see me. Let me change this thing so real quick. You guys can see this. This is how Coach Prime is with his microphone. You're not talking to your staff with like this, right? They're not going to hear you, right?
I used to say the same thing, and they called me.
It would be like this, right? Like if you're talking with your staff and you're taking over the game, your microphone would be like this, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. I
No,
said
you're
the same
right.
thing.
Okay,
I said
Coach
the same
Prime
thing.
walks around the sidelines with his microphone like this. That means that Coach Prime is trusting everybody, and he's not in the game, taking over the game. So when
That's what
that
I'm
question,
saying, bro.
when that question comes up, you're like, wait a minute, what? Why is it now that Coach Prime is saying, hey guys, why do we have Shedeur all the way back? Coach Prime is supposed to be taking over his team like already, like from last year.
Yes.
And then he told us that he was going to be taking over the team this year, that he was going to be doing a lot more hands-on stuff. So then what exactly are we talking about that Coach Prime is telling his guys, oh, we just had a conference and Coach Prime says, hey guys, why do we do that? What is going on here? What am I missing, Tim Smith? What am I missing?
Harry, I told you, bro. This is why. Go ahead. Tim.
No, I was just gonna say you got some people that, and it's just my personal opinion. I watched Arizona State and Texas Tech battle it out last night, and those coaches were coaching those players on the sideline. They was taking that headset. It was going up and down, up and down. They were talking to their staff members and interacting with them, and we don't see that. And I feel like Coach Prime, we can't. I don't think that he's 100% ready for this level of coaching, in my opinion, just
All right,
yet.
then.
So that's what I'm gonna say on that. I'm not gonna really go too
Have
far
to be a
into
little
it.
Yeah,
more
so
involved.
I'll go.
You know what I mean?
So this is what I said. This is why I said Coach Prime is not a good coach, because it took him 14 games to actually now say, hey, why are we doing this? Why can't we do this? It took you 14 games to realize that. Like, what are we talking about right now? When I say he's not a good coach, I say he's not a good coach. He's not ready for a Power 5. I'm sorry. He doesn't coach offense. He doesn't coach defense. He's just a good motivator, but he's not
He's a
actually
CEO.
coaching. He's not coaching the offense to do this scheme. He's not coaching the defense to do this scheme. The beginning of the season, he was like, oh man, we got DBs. We're going to be playing man. We're going to be playing man. We played a man, and what happened? We got beat. So like, it's not about just saying, oh, we got these athletes. It's like, yeah, but let's put them in the best position. And Coach Prime has not been doing that at all.
Well, I don't believe that. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not
just-
finna overly criticize Coach Prime.
Yeah, I don't come to those conclusions.
Yeah.
I don't come to those conclusions. So I just wanted to say, I mean, I'm going to ask the panel, maybe because I'm getting some pushback on this aspect. Let me just ask the panel. I go down the line. Y'all can just speak all at one time. When you guys see Coach Prime on the sidelines, you guys don't see this microphone up like this, because that's what I've seen. I've seen that during the games. I'm seeing the microphone like this. Is that wrong or no? That's not right. Coach Prime, he has his microphone like this, or is it up?
It's usually up when I see him.
Well, let me ask you this: did Nick Saban even wear a headset?
Come on, man. Yeah, he did wear a headset.
Nick Saban
And it
wore
was
a headset.
always down.
In what game?
Yes.
In what game?
In every game he's coached in, he's worn a headset.
Come on, man. Not
Not
every
every game, but in
Nick
big
Saban
time
known for
games, his
throwing
headset is
headsets.
on.
and the
Not
coach
every
at,
game.
Exactly. You can't throw a headset if you ain't wearing it.
the coach at Georgia the same. I've seen
my
games where he did not have a headset on, but I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that doesn't make you a good coach or a bad coach. That's
Right.
all
I'm not saying he's a good or bad coach. I'm just saying I want Prime to take over games. I want Prime to take over the game plan when he sees Shedeur in a shotgun and we're going for one 1 yard. If you see that, then this got to come down and you got to say, let's scrap that. Let's bring him under center, or you already know what the plays are. Let's say call a play. Like, okay, I use a fast food restaurant. I use Taco Bell. If I want a number 6 Taco Bell with the chalupa meal, right? But they're giving me the box. I said no. I want a number 6. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if Coach Prime is the head honcho and he's seeing what's going on the field, then why do we have to learn that in a press conference that he didn't want Shedeur to be in a shotgun?
Because he's not communicating.
As a head coach, this microphone need to come down because it's loud in Nebraska. So I know for sure if he's walking like this in Nebraska, ain't nobody hearing what he's saying. I don't care how loud you scream it. You got to put this down so that people can hear you talking and say, no. Let's go for 1 yard. Charlie is not. We're not in a shotgun. That's all I'm saying.
No, it goes down when he wants to go for it for 4th down. He's like, yo, let's go for it. Then it goes right back up.
DC said,
this is what I'm going to say, Harry.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. Let me bring East Coast Cav on the show, guys, and then we can go down the line and we can end the show. East Coast Cav, welcome to the show, man. You coming in mad late. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, man, it's just been busy today, man. What's up, chat? What's going on?
What's happening, my G?
What's up, brother? Hey, listen, I just want my 30 seconds. Look, I said this the other day. I said right on your show, I said Shedeur needs to get under center, snap the ball in the center. You cannot be in 4th and inches and be in shotgun trying to hand the ball off. They'll see that a mile away, bro. And then hours later, Coach Fleet said the same thing that Prime said. What I found in the interview with I think it was Matt McChesney and Bucky Deion Jr. He said himself. He said sometimes Dad don't know when to take over. Then he'll let stuff get bad where he don't take over. So you guys are right, man. He needs to. If he sees something not good, I don't want to hear he don't know X's and O's. You cannot tell me a Hall of Fame guy, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, someone who's been coaching over 20 years does not know X's and O's. I find that hard to believe.
He was the OC in the high school when they won three
championships. In high school, he was the offensive coordinator. Right. You cannot tell me he don't know X's and O's. But I think that he has a problem with knowing when to take over and when it's time for, you know what, I'm just going to have to do this myself. But he shouldn't have to do that because Pat Sherman shouldn't be running such a bland effing offense. You know what I'm saying? If his offense was so vanilla and it wasn't so easy to see, I'm just disgusted. And like I said, I know it's only 2 games in. Everybody needs to relax, need to calm down. But like I said the other day, man, it's like a pattern you were seeing, bro. You're just seeing the pattern. That's all I'm saying.
But that's what DC's been saying. We're seeing the patterns, and that's why the frustration is sounding like his biggest supporters are all frustrated now because they keep telling us they're going to do something they're not doing. And as soon as we sit back and we want to see good football and good coaching, we're seeing similar plays every single time. And we know that they don't have the best talent, they don't have the most talent, but you got to win to get more talent to come in. You can't you can't go to Nebraska and do what you did last week. You can't do that.
Hey, Harry, can I just piggyback on what you just said?
Yeah.
Because there's this whole thing of, well, he needs to go to high schools and recruit. I get that. And I said this before, and I said, look, I think that Colorado does have the money because they do have collectives. Colorado is loaded with money, okay? Those engineers up there and all them farmers and all them inbreds, I don't mean to say that, but they got money up there. You know what I'm saying? But they want to see results, man. They want to see a winning season. So now Prime can go to somebody's house. Yeah, now Prime can go to Harry B's house and say, Harry B, I know you're the number 1 running back in the nation. I got a winning record of 8-4 last year. We improved from 4-8. Here's a $200,000. Come to my school. Versus I'm 4-8 again, but I'm gonna come to your house 4-8 and ain't got no money for you. I can't show up to your house and be 4-8 again with no money. You're gonna look at me like, yeah, thanks for the pictures, but I'm going to Oregon.
Can I push back on that real quick? Because you mentioned something about the money, right? But the thing is, if you've been paying attention to Coach Prime, he's telling these kids like he's been bribed or pushed to throw an NIL bag. But he's saying he's not worried about the NIL. He worried about how you can fit it to the scheme, how you can fit it to the offense, how you can fit it to the defense. So I ain't gonna lie, he might have to let down his ego and or his pride and kind of give in to these kids in these high schools that's probably wanting that money, because this transfer portal thing, as we see, is not working out.
The portal's not the problem, brother. The problem is, and I said this the other day. Listen, I said this the other day, brother. The portal's not the problem. The problem is when you can't play a game when you got players out of position. I said this the other day. I said Tyler Brown is way out of position, getting
Way
beat
out of
off the
position.
tackle. Khalil Benson is out of position, getting beat on the guard spot. He's too tall to be a guard. Your position matters, bro. I don't want to
They
hear
get
that,
up.
man.
They can get
I
up under
agree with
him. Kev.
I agree with that
Yep.
Too
too.
big
But
for
at the end
guard.
of the day, you think you about to just go be the back-to-back seasons with the most transfers in NCAA and think that's about to happen? When there's no continuity, you don't get no preseason game in college. You
And
don't
let me
get
ask you
none
this.
of that.
Let me ask you
But
this. Do you
you
think
gotta
I'm about
have
to go
doesn't mean that
4-8
much.
again and show up to somebody's house
Yeah,
with no money and 4-8 again?
No,
that
I
doesn't mean
agree.
that much because there are other teams. Say if Colorado had 43 ins and outs this year, there are teams right behind him at 42 and 41. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not even a big
Where
factor.
you
We
where
ain't
you
even
Yep.
gonna
so
we're
pull
not
up the
gonna hang
stats.
on that.
What are we talking about? We talking about there's every time Colorado play, they always comparing how many transfers Colorado got to the next team. Colorado got back-to-back seasons with the most transfers. Like what are y'all like? What are we talking about? Like
So
there's no con.
Ole Miss is right behind them, bro. Like
But
Ole
how
Miss
one or two
is
many?
right
players
They don't
right
behind
got
them.
behind them.
40.
We're
They
not
don't
This
even
got
is the
going.
40.
point, though.
We're not
But
gonna
They
hang
don't
this
on
is
got
that
the
part
point.
right
40.
there.
They don't got
This is the
40 though.
point.
Yeah, but
They
they
don't
probably
have
got
40.
38 or 37, bro.
They don't
Yep.
got
Come
no
on, man.
30. And then if they do,
Yes,
they
Come
they
not
on, man.
do.
starting. And if they
Come
do, they
on,
not
man.
starting. If they
Come
do,
on,
they
This is
not
man.
the point,
starting.
guys.
Oh,
If
we
they got that
moving the
many transfers,
goalposts.
they're not starting.
And we
Moving
moving
the
the
yeah, that's moving
goalposts,
the
whether they
goalposts,
start
bro.
or not. They
This
got
is
him.
the point.
So,
This is the
but
point. Uh,
And they don't got a brand new old line full of transfers.
Washington did.
Listen, there's no
Say they
excuse.
didn't.
There's just no excuses at the end of the day. Coach Prime said we're going to the playoffs. That's the expectations.
Yep.
So
You're
we
right.
go
Coach
to
Prime
the
never said
playoffs.
that.
Now
He
what?
Coach Prime
said
never said
bowl
that.
game.
Coach Prime never
Bowl
said
game,
that.
bowl game, playoffs.
Coach
Bowl
Prime
game.
said
Okay,
bowl
cool. Bowl
game.
game.
Yeah.
He
like
did
they've
say
been saying,
playoffs though.
they're
He
trying
did
to
say
no,
they're trying to
Coach
He
say
Prime. Let's be real. Coach Prime did say playoff.
yeah. He
He
did say
did
Said
mention the
playoffs.
playoffs.
he said
He
he
said
Definitely
this
wants
missed
to
the
is
get
playoffs.
gold.
he wants
Definitely
to
missed the
get
playoffs.
in the playoff. He didn't say
yeah.
He
First
said
right.
goal
he
is a bowl
he
game.
said he wants to
Second
be
goal
one
is
of
a
the teams.
That's every
Right.
head coach's. That's every head coach's
True.
And then
expectation.
also,
But
and then be
he put
real.
a hammer. He put a hammer on bowl game.
let's get Piggy to a bowl game.
And
That's
then
the
be
Right.
hammer.
real. If he gets a losing season this year, who is going to want to come to Colorado?
The same kids that wanted to come this year with the losing
No
season
one.
before
No
that.
Nah,
one's gonna come to
no.
Colorado.
Everybody on offense who came wanted to play with Shador. Now Shador is leaving, and we get a losing season. Who wants to play?
All right. What? Let me ask you this question. Then we can end on the last
Especially
thing.
when you don't run the ball. You ain't
Hold
getting
on,
no
hold on,
running
guys.
backs.
Yeah, we don't run the ball. We've already exhausted that one. Um, okay. So, what are the likelihood of Juju Lewis coming to Colorado at this point? Ob.
That boy not coming, bro. Let's. And honestly, even if we do good, like it's fine if he doesn't want to come because I feel like honestly, what Prime needs to do is just kind of build a foundation of the program. That's what he needs to focus on, and then you'll start getting these recruits. Juju doesn't want to. First of all, USC is doing really good right now, so like that's one. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
come. Two,
And Indiana.
yeah. Two, I'm pretty sure NIL is like a huge thing to him, and I'm not sure what CU is offering. And then three, he doesn't want to go to a program that's going to lose. So like that's why this season like means so much.
All right, Ronte, what are your thoughts on Juju Lewis right now?
I think it depends on the season. I mean, I think things are in order for him. I think he's getting a lot of mentoring from Shador as far as NIL. He's getting hints that, hey, man, you got me as far as helping him out, dealing with certain things. So Juju Lewis is just 16 right at this time. So I think a lot. I think he got sour a little bit on that Stanford game last year. So it to me, it's going to depend on whether it's a winning season or not this year.
Okay, Cape Con, what are your thoughts on Juju Lewis coming right now? Like right now, we're taking a snapshot of this season. Like right now, what are the likelihood of Juju Lewis coming to Colorado?
Slim to none. Nebraska was a big blowout because 100,000 is the kind of atmosphere we're looking at playing from next season. Believe me, the schedule's not going to be small teams, especially the first 3 games next season. So Juju, NIL plays a part. They'll get him the bag. The bag isn't the problem because I mean Prime's brand is big. That's why Colorado's getting attention. 4.3 million to 5.6 million at peak the first game is the reason why. they'll keep him there for another season. They're making money. But my point is, we have to go back to basics. Football is based on wins and losses, W's and L's. Shador said it that we're trying to stack wins. If it's about winning, running the ball, essential. Balance, essential. Shermer was hired to bring balance, not just stagnant, one-dimensional. So the
You
portal,
can't hire somebody and clip their wings though.
exactly. No, I agree with that. But that's what I'm saying. He was hired to do balanced football. Let him cook. If he ain't cooking, then take over and do what you want. All I want is see for Juju to come over. We gotta win this next game. We gotta cover the spread, win the game convincingly, not by the points, but by the performance. How does our O-line hold up? How do our defense hold up? First, do they start fast? Do we come out second half slacking? Do we run the ball consistently, even if it's not efficient? Do we stick to what we say? Are we believable?
Amen.
If they don't run the ball this time again, I think everybody's gonna just lose it. DC, what are the likelihoods of Juju Lewis coming to Colorado and your reasons?
I think it's less.
Yeah,
it's not
Juju
big.
Lewis is going to Alabama.
No. I can see him going to
Hell no.
Auburn though. I can see him going to Auburn though. The reason why I say it's a lack of that is because USC is looking good. USC has had a proven track of quarterback development. We can even see that this year. And that's the thing that with Colorado is that, we can look at Shador, but if I'm a dad, I'm looking and say, do I believe that staff, if I'm still have that staff, and two, the Schumer and other people, can they develop my son to be a Heisman caliber quarterback? And I would have, y'all just come on now. All of you, if you had a son with Shador's talent, you have to ask yourself, or Juju's talent, would you send him there? Not just for prime, for the shine. I'm talking about development.
For development, right?
Development into a premier number one draft pick NFL quarterback, $200 million. And I would have to say that's not something I would do.
Chantel said, let me save your time. The entire panel does not believe Juju is coming.
No. You didn't ask me yet. You didn't ask me
I'm
yet.
getting there, guys.
Ask me yet.
Cab, you're next. What are your thoughts on
You ain't asked me.
what are your thoughts on Juju Lewis coming, and what are the chances
My thoughts?
This is just a current snapshot. I'm not saying the season is over.
All right. I'm going to give 2 quick points. First of all, I don't care if he does come because there's going to be a quarterback ready in the transfer portal. Second of all, I think Juju Lewis's chances are coming.
Who's going to be in the transfer portal? Who you believe is going to be there for us to grab?
It could be a bunch of quarterbacks next year.
Yeah,
it's going to be one. Best believe. That's why I'm not. That's why what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. I don't get hung up on high school kids or whether they come or not because they could say they come in and they don't. Like Juju Lewis, you know what I'm saying? As long as there's a transfer portal, if Prime can manage a winning season this year, somebody gonna jump in that portal and come there because they know the spotlight's gonna be on them. 31 scouts will be at a college game like they was at the NDSU game. Prime had 31 scouts there at that game, just there to see the Shador, Travis, or whoever else they have. And then the second point I want to make. I think, honestly, in my opinion, Juju Lewis coming to CU is a better chance of hell hosting the Winter Olympics. I'm just going to be honest. I think he's either going to Auburn, Indiana. I don't know if he's going to USC. And I disagree with him with Lincoln Riley developing quarterbacks. Caleb Williams was already developed before he got there.
No. Let's get it straight. He's one of the best at it.
You know what? Honestly, as an OC, he's good, but as a coach, a head coach, no, he ain't the guy.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley is one of the best. He's like they call him a quarterback whisperer. That's his peers calling him a quarterback whisperer.
Okay, all right, no problem. I don't want to go there.
See you.
You got it, man. I ain't got nothing to say.
Not my words.
You got it, man.
I did a whole video on that. Not my words. See, Buff Dynasty.
Caleb Williams was already developed when he got there.
Okay.
Go ahead, man. You good?
Let me ask this question. What about that 6'5" quarterback that left-handed guy they have there now?
Nah, he won't be good.
Oh,
All right.
Walker Taylor,
He won't be good.
See you, Buff
he in the
Dynasty. What are
portal.
your thoughts on Juju Lewis's current situation? Is he coming? Is he not?
Juju Lewis, at this point, I really don't care. But the fact that USC is doing good with Miller Moss, that almost automatically would sit Juju on the bench for is it 2 seasons, or how much time does Miller Moss have left?
That
Yes,
guy.
2 years.
2
Oh,
years.
okay.
So that would sit Juju on the bench for 2 years. I don't think that that's in his scope when he's trying to go to a college football team. I think he wants to start right off, especially seeing Dylan Raiola starting as a freshman. I think that's something that he's going to want to. Well, he's been wanting to do it anyway. So going to USC is
Right.
almost null and void because he'll sit down for 2 seasons. And there's a guy behind Miller Moss that's supposed to be pretty decent as well. So I just don't think that that's going to be a good pick for him. Colorado is still in sight. And I mean, why would you not want to follow behind or try to fill Shador's
Because you
shoes
get killed on the O
when
line.
If I was a dad, I would never
when
let my son go there.
All right, Tim. Hold on.
so
Hold the
Hey,
thought. I'm
so
coming
it,
to you.
hey, Harry, can I
whoa
respond to that?
whoa
Can I
Pure
res-
hate, Munchie. That's pure hate,
I'm
Munchie.
going down the line, guys.
whoa.
It's your turn.
If I was a dad and I had a son that was a QB, Colorado would be the first place I would send him per Shador's exit, because why not put him on an offense that's going to feature his arm and his passing abilities? That'll be the first place I want him to go.
Okay.
If I was a dad.
All right, JD. Is
Hey,
Shador? Hold on, Tim. You're next. You're next.
Yeah, I want to respond to that comment that Yardman made whenever you're ready. I'll wait.
Okay. So scouts only go to see.
Yeah, I gotta respond to that.
Okay,
when you're done.
Okay, JD. What are the chances of Juju Lewis coming to Colorado? This is just a snapshot of 2 games. That's all.
I think right now I don't think the chances are likely, but it depends on this, right? It depends on. I think wins and losses is a part of it, but I don't think it's a telltale sign. I think it's on how, of course, number one, how the offense looks, how the O-line looks, and then if they lose, even if they do have a losing season, of how they lose compared to like the actual wins and loss column. Because some quarterbacks will come into, I mean, it's possible that he come into a situation where they are losing, and I can improve, just like Dylan Raiola. He went to a losing program in Nebraska, but he's seen the improvement. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's more of the actual wins and losses. It depends on how they lose and then the pieces they need to improve to get to that next step. But the chances, me personally, I don't think it's very likely, because I mean, just like the other guy just said, it may could feature him, but if I'm getting killed, then it ain't really worth it, because I wanna show off my arm talent. I want to go to a situation where I'm at least able to show my arm talent instead of being on my back every other play.
Pause. All right. Hey, Scoop Brooklyn,
Yeah,
what up
pause.
with you? Tim Smith, what are your thoughts on Juju Lewis right now? Snapshot 2 games. What are the chances of him coming? If you were a dad, do you send your son to
Scoop, what up,
Colorado?
Scoop?
-0. Ain't no way in HE double hockey stick will I send my son to play there when I just watch the head coach son spend most of his time either on the ground or running from his life like a gang is behind him. I would never send my son there. And here's the other thing.
Oh my God.
As a dad, by Colorado just considering my son, everybody across the United States know who Juju Lewis is right now.
Not
Just
everybody.
because,
Football people.
okay, football people, just based off of Coach Prime going after him. So now I don't need no more exposure for my son. Now all the thing I need is the bag. See, you may not have the bag, but Auburn has that bag. To pay him the money, I'll let him get there, get developed, get in the routine of things, and then I'll let him
Auburn
maybe
also has
shine.
2 quarterbacks.
He might go
That's
to
fine.
Oregon.
That's
He going to
fine.
Oregon.
That's fine. But
Oregon
what I'm
has
saying,
2 quarterbacks.
that's
Man, he can
fine.
beat them boys
Regardless,
out.
Hey guys, let him finish his thoughts, please.
regardless of where he go, it would not be Colorado because they showed that they can't protect the quarterback. the quarterback stays on the ground 90% of 65% of the time, or he's running for his life. There's no way I would put my son through that
All right.
and
All right.
possibly end his career.
East Coast Cav. There was a player that was sitting on the sideline and he was like dejected and he was laying down like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're taking the L. You're gonna answer Yardman, but I want you to also talk on that a little bit.
I didn't see that play.
No, it was the player. Yeah, he was on the sideline. The TV showed it, and he was kind of laying down in the chair, and Shedeur told him to kind of sit up. So, but go ahead, answer Yardman, and then that'll be the final question that we answer.
I answer your question.
That has to do with culture.
Yeah, I answer that question, then I'll fry Yardman. I'm sick of his behind. As far as that, it's coming off as not just Prime, but Shedeur is losing the team because he's laid on the sideline like F it. Y'all,
Yeah.
I ain't playing. Y'all ain't playing. You know what I'm saying?
How
But
can you lose a team in 2 games and you're 1-1?
That's what I agree with that.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's how it's probably coming off to him, is what I'm saying with that player. You know what I'm saying? That's why even though I was pissed off and I was screaming at everybody because I lost money on both games, I realized it's only 2 games into the season. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to relax. It's really going to count when conference play starts. That's when it really matters, man. That's when I want to see definitely see some running, see some more plays, and see Shedeur more under center, like I've been saying already.
All right, answer Yardman.
They
And
jacked off my
Yardman,
$1,800 ticket, man.
So, oh my God.
So scouts only go to CU?
No, scouts don't only go to CU, you dummy. What I was saying was there was because of Deion Sanders and who he is, there were so many scouts at that game. It was a lot more scouts at that game because of who he is. One, and the proof of that is the ratings that were on that TV. Damn near 6 million people watched that game on a Thursday night.
Okay, talk, dude. There we go. That's what I was saying. There we go.
That's because of Deion Sanders. Okay, and as far as the scouts go, scouts were even there in the summertime, right in that August part, like getting close to the game. Scouts don't come out typically that time of the year. They don't come out that time.
Can I respond to
So go ahead. That's all I want to say to that idiot.
Hey, stop calling names, man. I don't like. Don't call people personal names.
Okay, that idiot.
I want to respond to East Coast Kev real quick as far as that other comment you made about not just you, but just people in general. Like, people keep talking about this. Oh, it's just 2 games, right? It's just 2 games in this season, but Coach Prime is in a 14-game tenure at CU. So this Saturday will be his 15th game, right?
Right.
So, and people keep saying, oh, it's just 1 game that we lost, But do those games not count? Because we not talking about college like they don't have preseason games. Like, oh, those games don't count. These games count whether you win or lose. Ex Notre Dame, they just lost to NIU. So it's not, oh, it's just 1 game. Like, that affects the bowls, the playoffs, and everything. So everything from the first snap in college football, it counts. So people need to stop with this, oh, it's just 1 game. It's just the second game of the season, especially when you see the repeat of what you saw last season where it's just about the same things. It's what I'm trying to say is we're in a new season talking about the same issues, mismanagement of running backs, of O-line, of coaching. So people got to get out the mindset. I understand it's a new season, but we're talking about he's been coached less than 20 games. He's going on his 15th game as a coach, and we still talk about the same issues. Now, if we would talk about a new set of issues, that'll be a whole different problem.
What I'm saying is, if I can respond to that, what I'm saying is I get what you're saying, because even I said it the other day. We got to nip this in the bud before it starts looking like last year. I'm talking about as far as conference play. You know that Big 12 conference play hasn't started yet for Colorado. What I'm saying is they could lose these 3 games here. And if they win the other 9 games, they can go to the Big 12 playoff. They can go to the Big 12 championship. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. But what I'm saying
that's what I was getting at.
But I understand what you're saying. But I'm just not talking about you in general. I'm just talking about other people who say that as well. Because people keep just saying it's just. I understand there's levels. Like, every football season, every football team has goals. They want to win their conference games. They want to beat their rivals. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to the championship. But when the ball snap, it's not unless we talk about NFL preseason. The games count. So my thing is, it's just like we just keep talking about these. Oh, it's just one game, and then people keep talking about it's one loss. Like last week, it's not the fact that they lost. I'm pretty sure half the fan base, or just if you're a casual fan or farewell fan of Colorado, don't really matter. It's not the fact that they lost the game. It's how you lost the game
Yeah,
based off the pass.
I agree
That's
with that.
that's
That's
what
what
it is.
I think. That's what most people are. People like myself, who's a very strong supporter of the team. It's not that they lost. It's how they lost.
How they lost.
Yeah, I think I keep saying that if Colorado plays good football, I think we'll have a better feeling with Colorado football. I think if the culture was there, if we're running and we're doing everything that we possibly can do, if somebody just beats us, that's what college football fandom is all about. We're fine with our team losing to a better team. But when the team that you're playing, you don't feel like they're just that better. It just seems like they're just out
There was no
scheming
effort,
you.
man, Harry. There was no effort, man.
Right. It
It's
felt
like,
like they weren't
yeah,
all the way better. They just out schemed you. And that's the frustrating part from a fan standpoint. Is like our team is good, but yet our leaders didn't put us in a better position to win. So that's why we're so frustrated. And now we're giving up on the idea of, are you going to run? We're going to run this week. No, you're not. Stop playing with us. You're lying to
can I
us.
ask a question for you guys? Just and just to piggyback on that, I'm in South Africa. Do you know the time difference is we 9 hours ahead of Mountain Time? Some
9.
states is 6. Yeah, it's 9. Some states 6,
Okay.
depending on where in the East Coast, West Coast. But NFL and college football is gaining momentum worldwide. You guys have a brand now. I follow Coach Prime because of the man aspect. His manhood, the way he wants to portray as a black man, and also as I'm colored, I have some relation to it. So I like the way he brings about the manly aspect. What I was disappointed in is where I'm from. You could lose, you could have a bad day, but did you give effort? Did you have a plan to put some effort on the field? Did you have some sort of plan to say, look, I did this, did that, but hey, end of the day, it failed because maybe one or two things were better than got the better of me.
Mm-hmm.
If you have no effort, there's no result.
Eh,
So what I'm saying is, my question to you guys is, there's two parts. Number one, CSU is our next opponent. What would you, as a panel, like to see from us as a team? Improvements on our weaknesses and also on last week's performance. Two, if we get a win, what would you define as a good win, and what would you define as a bad win? Both on the coaching side of things.
All right, Obi, and then Obi, just add to that. I think that's the last question. Do we have to win this game? So, what if we have to win this game? If your answer is yes, we have to win this game, then what is a good win, and and if we lose, what is a good loss, and what is a bad loss?
Yeah, I think
So
we
that's
definitely.
the final thoughts, guys. After this, we got to go. Go ahead,
So
Obi.
yeah, we got to win this game. What a good win looks like is addressing our issues, running the ball, putting the best people in position. That's coaches and players to make sure we are in the best position just to win the game and be the best person across the side of the ball. If we do win and we do win. I guess if it doesn't look good, I think what that would look like is again just the same issues that we're not doing. We're not running the ball. We're not putting the best people in position. We're not doing good time management, etc.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Obi. I appreciate you. Final
Good
thoughts,
point.
Ron Tate. Final thoughts on that, and the questions that's on the board. Does CU need to win this game, and what does a good win look like? All right, we'll come back to Ron Tate. He's a little busy right now. Cape Con, you raised some of the questions, but do we need to win this game? And if we do win, what does a good win look like? What does a bad win look like?
We need to win this game. A good win is running the ball, not necessarily effectively, but just trying to run the ball. Have a balanced offense. I also think we should look. Travis I think we should give him more of a balanced attack and a balanced defense. Change the situations up. That's a good win for me. That shows improvement. That shows we're growing as because it shows the coaches are able to make adjustments and we start fast. A bad loss, same mistakes. We talk about the same things. Then what are we doing? Are we here to just talk about it, or like as you say in America? Are you about it, or are you talking about it? What are we doing? So
Okay.
I don't want to see. No, I'm just
I don't know
saying
if you
because
say that, but
you guys are you guys are always bravado. If you talk the talk, then walk the walk. So that's bad loss to me. Is we have the same mistakes. We like you like just off should all being in shotgun instead of right under center, things like that. That shouldn't come back up. I want to see improvement. If it's a bad loss, I can say at least we ran the ball 100 yards, but after that they stopped the run. At least we changed personnel. At least so we got to win the game in a nutshell, and we got to get this win, guys. We have
All
to.
right. So DC,
Yeah.
I'm coming to you. Colorado, Colorado's yes have to run the ball, but I don't want Colorado to run the ball in spite, right? Because you know how like you have kids, right? And you tell them to go wash the dishes,
Right.
and they got that angry look on there, and they're washing the dishes, and they're barely rubbing the dishes, and
Right.
they're washing it. I don't want Colorado to run the ball out of spite.
So basically, you want to come in there while you wash it. You better fix your face while you wash these dishes. You better fix your.
You better run that ball with happiness.
You
I
better
don't
be
want you to be out
washing.
here running the
Smile,
ball.
nigga.
With a smile. With a smile, yeah.
You better run that ball with a smile.
All
Yeah,
32 teeth.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if you win this game, you get the W, but you level set. You have to win the next one. You have to win this game. If you win it, just go ahead. I know folks will say they're gonna move the goalpost. No, they're gonna keep it right where it is and say this is the game you're supposed to win. Right? I mean, you said this is the game you're supposed to win. So at the end of the day, is even if you get 2 or 3 touchdowns, this is the game that you're supposed to win. Your season got reset. This what resets it, and then you go into Big 12 play. That's gonna be where you make your statement. So whatever issues you got to work out, you work out this game. You're gonna be all right. You lose this game, then
Harry owes you money.
Man, listen. I'm gonna turn into another DC. I'm gonna become big. I'm gonna move from right now. See, if I'm a TV father, I've been treating y'all like I'm James Evans. I love you, but I'm tough on you. But
Bill Cosby.
Well, see, if you lose, I'm gonna become Bill Cosby. I might do a little Carl Winslow on you because I was a cop at one time. But I'll come to, but I will move more to that because I think that's what's needed in there. But again, I don't expect them to come out here trying to run that ball, and I think that's what we're gonna have to put that to bed here. But I do think win this game and you start your season over. This is it. 2 games. I do agree with a lot of things Ron has said. It's hey, these are 2 games. This is the mentality of a football player. Hey, this is the game in front of us. Once we win this, our season starts. That's it.
Yeah.
Good point.
I think the way that they win and the way that they show up is very, very is monumental. The way they win. East Coast Calf. Your final thoughts. Do they have to win this game, and what does it have to look like for you?
They have to win this game because I took the point spread for CU to cover, but put my selfishness away. It's not all about money. It's like, but they need to they need to definitely win this game to set the rest of the season
give me
off.
my money.
You just give me my money. Exactly. But we need to win this game and convincingly, at least by 10, 14 points. I at least want to see that. A bad loss to me, 1, them losing, and 2, it going into double overtime again. I don't want to see that. They are not as talented as we are on paper, at least. I looked at this game. I looked at them. Shout out to Buffton Prime and them. I looked at the film. They got the Torrey Horton kid and the quarterback. Other than that, I don't see nothing else they have. And that one other wide receiver. But other than that, they cannot lose this game, man.
Yeah. Buffton Prime is like well off. You watch it with enthusiasm, and I shout out to them. You watch it with enthusiasm, you're like, yeah, we gonna do it, and then and then all the prescriptions from Buffton Prime is like, oh shoot, they didn't do anything they said. Anyway, CU Buff Dynasty, how do you see this going? Should we win? How do we win? What does a bad loss look like?
A bad loss for me looks like anywhere from 7 to 10 points. We really need a plus 21 or more to kind of set the scales back in order, because we like someone said before, this is a team that we are supposed to beat. So if we're supposed to beat them, we need to beat them extra convincingly, and then
You're
get
right.
ready for the season to start.
You're right.
I want to see more. I want to see formations. I want to see formations.
Right.
I want to
That's the
see
word right there.
utilizing all the skill players that we have. I ran offense for years, and I'm telling you, man, I'll be slobbering at the mouth with all the pieces that I have to utilize. But if you bring them out and keep putting them in the same 4 wide with 1 back, I don't understand why Travis comes out. Move him around the formation, slot, split, flanker, Z,
Creative.
X, quarterback in the Wildcat. Like we have to. I need plus 21. If we don't get a plus 21 and it looks like a little murky win, I'm gonna start scratching my head. And DC, if we happen to lose, I haven't took the tags off of my Shedeur Sanders jersey that I paid $200 for. I'm still within my 60-day return frame, buddy. That's something good going back, dog.
I don't blame you, bro.
I'm telling you, that thing's still in the plastic with the tags on. That's $200 man. She
Uh-oh.
got to go
Hey,
back
listen,
to the
do
house.
not encourage DC, man. Don't encourage him.
Don't encourage it, man.
No,
Hey,
but
what if
honestly, guys,
they do everything you're prescribing and they still lose?
I can take that. If I see changes, if I see formations, I see you trying to set something in stone, I'm fine with that, because it might not work the first time out, but at least I know you're heading in that way and you're trying it. I'm cool with that. But if we come out and get beat and we lining up 4 wide with 1 back, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Okay. All right, JD, your thoughts, your final thoughts.
My
do we need a win? And if we win, what's a good win? If we lose, what's a bad loss?
Hey, I'm gonna drop off, man. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, you too, man.
You too.
All right. God bless y'all.
It's not a need to win. It is a must-win game for a couple reasons. First of all, you can't
before
lose.
JD, you get into that, I want y'all to stay tuned if you're on the panel, because I have a question that is not football related to ask y'all. Go ahead, JD.
It's a must-win for a couple reasons. First, you don't want to lose back-to-back games to your rivals. Secondly, it's a must-win because next week going into conference play, so you want to get your confidence and your psyche back. So if you drop this game, if you lost back-to-back games, lost back-to-back rival games, even though in the big conference play you good, but just for your confidence and your psyche, you want to get that win. And then I would say, as far as how you win or how you lose, I would say if they win and they look the same from week 1 with all that 4 wide, 1 back and all that, can't stop the run, can't block nobody, it's going to be bad. And then if they just win, convincingly by doing other things, running the ball effectively, not just running the ball, but running it effectively, creatively, and just kind of sticking to it, then yeah, I would say that would be a good win. Now, I don't really care for the points. Whether they win by 1 point or a million, it don't really matter as long as they win and look differently doing it. So that's pretty much my thought. But if they lose, boy, they in trouble. But yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. So I do appreciate everybody. Thank you for my panel for being on here. Final question that I got, guys. This is political question, but I got a question that's just like it's a social question for me. This is a social question I want to ask everybody on this panel. I have another channel that I do that on. It's called my Billionaires Mindset. I'm just gonna say hello so you can see the channel on there. You'll see I tweeted right there. I'll put it in the chat right there. Billionaires Mindset. I don't have the audience there, but I do have it here. So let me ask you this question while I'm here. So America has been playing identity politics for years and years. 40-something presidents. I believe Obama was 44. Is it 44 or 46? Y'all let me know. But it's always the thing is, it has to be a man. Prior to Obama, it had to be a man, and it had to be white man. Now we got we had our first black president, and then now we have for the first time a woman who has been nominated for a major party. So, and then they tell us that don't play identity politics. So if this is the question now, and I want to know what y'all think in the chat, and I want my panel to see if you guys can answer. If they've been playing identity politics for so long, it had to be a man and it had to be a white man. Why is it that now they're shoving down our throats not to play identity politics? We did it first with Obama. They said, don't vote for him because he's black. Vote for him because he's right for the country. If that's the case, and now we got a woman, and for so many years, forever, they've told us that women were not qualified to be president. Now that we got a woman, why? This is the question. Why is it that women should not do the same thing they did 47 times? Why should women not vote for Kamala Harris because she's a woman, right? And why should they not vote for her because she's black when it's been male and white and no woman? And I'll start with you, Obi, if you want to answer. All right. So if you want to answer, you don't have to answer. I know it's a political question.
Can you say that one more time? So why should they vote for?
So they've been playing identity politics in America forever, right? It's always been male and it's been white male. That is our identity, and that's how we want to vote, right? So when nobody else had a choice, there was no black people, and there was no women. It's always male, and it's always been white male. So when Obama came, then we went away from the idea of it had to be male and it had to be white. And it's like, oh, don't vote for him because he's black, people. Don't vote for him because he's black. But they've been voting for them because they were white and male. And now we have a woman finally. So we've never had a woman for the first time. It's always been male and it's been white male. So now that we got a woman, they're telling women, don't vote for this woman, Kamala, because she's a woman. Vote for her because she's right. So I'm asking, if they've been telling you all this time, if they've been doing that specific thing they're asking you not to do now, then why should they be telling women not to vote for the woman because she's a woman when they've been doing male and white? That is the question. So you don't have to answer. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's just tricky. I think everyone is just fickle. Like, I think it's just about pushing your own narrative, everyone's agenda, and like seeing like what sticks, honestly. Because like that is a good point America for so long didn't want someone of color to be in the White House. And there was, multiple candidates who did run before Obama, of course, but they like Jesse Jackson, but they were never like really considered to actually win the presidency. And so now
they were never chosen by their party.
Yeah, very true. Now Kamala, like even her being vice president was like a journey, right? Like a lot of people didn't believe that she was capable of doing the job. And some people didn't even want her to be vice president. But now, I don't know. It's just one of those situations where they see Donald Trump, they see what he's done and the hateful rhetoric that he's been spewing, and then they see Kamala, and it's like, hey, like, what do you want to vote for? Like, who do you want to vote for? Like, they're really like not even like, again, if you watch the last debate, like Kamala didn't even say anything about her policies. She was just mainly. Go ahead.
I don't want to go there. I just want to.
I was agreeing with you.
Okay.
Hold
on.
My bad.
The question. I want you to stick on the question. I don't want to get too deep politically, because this is more of a shallow type of thing I'm asking. It's petty. I'm being petty on purpose. All right. I don't want to go too deep.
Okay, I said my piece. I'll let someone else say that.
Yeah, I don't want to piss nobody off on their policies or nothing like that. I'm just saying, petty and from a petty standpoint. If they were saying this whole time, Ron Tate, I'm coming to you. If they have been playing identity politics 40-something times, then why is it you're telling women not to vote women when you've been telling the men, when you've been choosing men forever? Why should women now just vote for a woman because they're a woman? Ron Tate, your thoughts if you want to answer. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm going to answer. And I would consider a good win by 21 points or more for CU. Bad win, anything less than that.
Right.
Listen, my position or my thoughts on that is that in history, they've always moved the mark. And as people of color or different nationalities other than white began to move around and to use the system, the same system that they put in place, and find a way to move up within the system changes.
Good point.
And now that they're saying, okay, well, it's too obvious for us to change the system, so they use a different tack. And like the gentleman said, well, she's not speaking about her policies. Okay, about the opponent. When has he talked about what he was going to do to help the middle class, to help, So the goalpost always moves when the marginalized, this country's marginalized community began to rise, the goalpost moves again. And now they're using that tack with her as far as moving to go and trying to rely on that old adage of white is right. So even though Donald Trump is flawed, we have to vote for him because we have to stick together.
Got to.
All right. So Cape Con, I know you're in South Africa, but try to see if you can chime in on this one. If they have 40 years to say, hey, 40 something times, not 40 years, but 40 something times to say we want a white man, then why is it that when we finally get a woman, why is it that women, okay, in a general, why can't women just vote women? Because you had your man forever, so we want a woman. Cape Con, if you're there, you got to unmute.
Yeah, sorry, I just noticed that. Look, I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful because I'm not really clued up on the demographical situations. However, I'll say this: women can vote women, but does it work? What has worked is always been voting for the man because men are mostly, depends on the leadership and whatever, have proven their worth. They've proven it works. From what I see, even in the debates, like you guys point out, she's not talking about policies or what her future for the country is, what it looks like. She's more worried about his demeanor, his social standing as Trump. What Trump represents. Oh, he said this. Imagine what that does for. That's fear. Leaders are not fearful. Leaders are hopeful. Leaders are aggressive at when they need to be. Trump, when he first presidency, he proved he could lead even though he had erraticness to him. I mean, just look at the riots at the White House. He literally said, "Go and attack the White House."
This is not about Trump and Kamala. This is more so about the history of the country, not necessarily about Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to go too deep into that because then people start taking sides. I don't want to do that.
No. I'm just from a perspective of South African. I just think no, you're right, Barry B. They can vote women based on their history. They can vote for women. They give her a chance. But I think the biggest question is, does it work? That's all I'm going to say.
All right, DC.
I don't want to go too deep.
DC, right. if you're still here,
I'm still here.
What are your thoughts on? Hey, is fair? If you guys want a man for so long, now that we got a woman, why are you now telling us that is not okay? Now all of a sudden we should quote unquote only vote who we think is right, but it's always been man. What's your thoughts on that? 30 seconds.
I would say some people do that, some people don't. Here's the danger I'm going to tell you with identity politics. As a military man, it will eventually lead you to a fractured country every single time. You have to look at competency and what's best for a nation versus doing identity politics. Go look at the Shias and the Sunnis in Iraq. Go look at some of those areas. And I'm not pointing out because it's a Muslim country or anything like that. I'm just saying you have to take a look at countries. When you start doing identity, it creates fractions. Fractions create chaos. Chaos leads to combat. Combat leads to long-staying wars where people die. So that's why I get what you're saying, and you can vote for whoever you want to, and I would not allow myself to get in there. But I also would tell Americans is that look at history and look at this nation, because sometimes we have a very American first world view of how things are going. But when you step across that border or you step into some other countries, it's a totally different game. So no, nobody should be telling you what to vote for. But I will sit here and tell you, be careful with identity politics being so in there that you limit yourself and your biases become so much that you forget that throughout the history of mankind, it has always led to a ton of death.
All right. All right. See you, Buff Dynasty. You got the final word. Try to keep it 30 seconds because I got to pick up my child. 30 seconds. Is it fair to say, hey, we trust white man 40-something times, and then finally we get a woman, and now we're saying, oh, no, don't vote identity because you've been doing it for 40-something times, so why is it now that we can't do that? She is competent. She's the vice president. Let's make sure that we highlight that, right? She is currently the vice president. That means that she is competent enough to run the country. So why is it that women are not supposed to vote there for women when you've been voting men forever?
Harry, when it comes to topics like this concerning that issue, and when we on the airlines like this, I keep my comments to myself because they are too brash for anybody to hear. So I'm gonna skip this one. I'm gonna do the little Woody and say I don't recall.
I respect it. And
but Harry, I will say this though. Yeah. I was just tell everybody, because I'm kind of the same way with CU Buffs Dynasty. That's why I kept mine very vanilla. But I will tell you this: don't choose the leader for where you are. Always choose a leader for where you're going to and what's in front of you. And that means you must make sure you look at the opportunities, but you also better look at your threats.
So a
lot of they matter.
I feel like a lot of I think it was Ron Tate that said the goalpost is always moving. It's weird how it's always incumbent upon Black people or women to always, do the right thing. But when it comes to them, they can do whatever they want to do. They'll choose the white man and they'll choose the man. But now when you finally get a competent, capable, when you check all the box on the other candidate, then they say, don't do that because she is. But I would say, hey, you've been doing that because they are. We didn't have a choice. We only had white men before. So now why is it all of a sudden now we should check other boxes? Don't do this because, oh, no, you want to make sure that, wherever you're going, like DC says, wherever you're going, you got to make sure that person can get there with you, but we had no choice for so long. And that's why I bring up the question. I'm like, when I look at it and I'm like, as long as she checks the boxes or as long as the Black man checks the boxes, then what you've been telling me for 40-something times, 44 times or 43 times, you're telling me that they were right. But now I can't do this one because he's Black. But you've been doing that because he was white. That's where I'll leave it. And I just wanted to hope that you can ponder on that while you have your dinners and you talk to your family and stuff this weekend. Just think about that. 40-something times, 47. What is Biden's number? Is he 47 or 48 or 49?
6. He's 46.
So 46 times they told you that women were not qualified. Now we have an opportunity to have a competent woman. And they're telling us again now, oh, pump the brakes. Don't vote for her because she's a woman. I wonder why you thought that 46 times only men were competent. Have a great weekend, guys. God bless you. I'm out.
Thanks for having me on your show, Harry.
All right. Thanks for coming on. All right. Take care.